Y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little hungover. I got so cross last night. We got so cross last night. To 3 streams and playing Cyberpunk? Damn. That's commitment right there. That's commitment right there. Why do I look so big? Is my camera zoomed in? We're not listening to the brainworms today. Ow. Apparently one of my Cyberpunk playthroughs just got like a ton of views on Twitch, which is weird, or on YouTube. Today we're going to be doing some reacts while playing Planet Crafter, because I don't feel like really paying attention to a game today. So what kind of shit do we want to react to today? Do we have any reacts in the reaction? Okay. We'll pull this one up. We have plants that explode. It's a Zafrank video. We'll start with that as one of them. We also haven't even brainworm free zone for real. We're brainworm free. Why the fuck am I getting recommended Asmongold Gold? I haven't watched an Asmongold Gold video in months. We'll pull up a Smiling Friends lore video, I guess. Oh, you know what else I wanted to watch? Okay. So we have a couple of videos lined up. We can find a few. I watched a video recently called Minecraft's Progression is Awful. It's a 2-part series. I watched the first one already, so we can't really watch that one and have like an honest react to it, but we can just kind of like watch the second one and go with that one. The first one's all about like how there's not really a lot of good parts to like Minecraft's progression, and then it's really one of those games that you're spent, like you're forced to, you know. Why is that so loud? I can't even hear my own thoughts. Anybody else have a react recommendation? Ah, yes, a Drew Gooden video. I'm so down. Okay. We have a couple hours of videos up. We can, At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite. Thank you, Mint Mobile. I know. All right. All right, so we're going to do this react style. We're going to come down to, we're going to open Planet Crafter is what we're going to do first. For any Planet Crafters that are going to be joining me. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm not going to join. We're not going to do chats for a little bit here, but we are going to be having some friends join us, maybe, possibly, allegedly. I'm not exactly sure, but who knows? I have a lot of friends who like this game. So we're gonna pause the music though. We're gonna get the game open. We're gonna set up the reaction time screen. Let's start with the one that was actually like recommended to us. Get our actual game up. We'll do that. And we'll do that. Oh, wait, do we want big game or little game? Big game, little react, or big, small game, big react? What are we thinking? What are we thinking? These are fucking good, by the way. For now, let's go with big react, small game.
Here are true facts about seeds that explode.
Okay.
On a day like this one, you and I might think to sit it out and have a cozy day indoors. But for liverwort, that unfortunately named plant that's a relative of moss, this is an Oppenheimer moment. Because they have figured out
Oppenheimer moment.
The energy of the raindrop to make it sort of. You see, when it's time to make more liverworts, they create a bunch of these. Looks a little like being backstage at a nipple. Sitting inside these little pasties are spores, little liverwort babies. But the cup that surrounds them is just the right shape that if a raindrop falls into it, the babies go flying up to 3 feet away. And that's the thing with plants. Oh, all I need is some dirt, sun, CO2, and water. But you never ask what they're doing with all that water. And let me tell you, some plants are shady. They're not drinking it. You know, it's
shady?
Complicated explosives. I mean, one of the most.
Why is it so quiet?
Found in the squirting cucumber. The name's
there we go.
A bit of a spoiler, isn't it?
Squirting cucumber?
Plants gradually fill up with seeds
I should call her.
in a watery gel. And
I should call her.
Up pressure, and when the pressure is great enough, it pops off the stem. Sort of a. I mean, it's a bit of a mess if you ask me. Looks like the plant gets it all over itself. And you don't want to be
find you a girl.
Juice.
Find a girl.
Found a more nuanced way to
find yourself a girl who can do that.
Take the flowers of the bunchberry dogwood, for example. Now, dogwoods are the ones where the leaves got all jealous and wanted to be flowers, and so now it's a whole thing. So here, these are leaves, and these ones inside are the actual flowers. Now they start off with their petals all sealed up in a point,
they're so
held together with a little strip of tissue. Those little knees that are sticking out are anthers. If you look inside, each one has a little shoe on the end with baby-making pollen all over it.
Oh my gosh!
Shoe is on a flexible hinge. Anyway, you can see it's all packed in there. The cells inside these bent anthers fill up with water and slowly put pressure on that little strip that's holding the whole package together. One of the 4 petals.
You can't really see it because my game's in the way, but
stop it. That is essentially a trigger. Touch it and doing, doing. Those shoes are designed to shoot the pollen
said
up.
Stop it. Okay, whatever, dude. Leave me alone.
These explosions aren't always about water building up. Sometimes it's about drying out. Now, you don't think of moss as being particularly sophisticated, do you? When moss in the genus
big
Sphagnum,
living compartment?
That's the name. I've got an itchy sphagnum. Anyway, when it's ready to release its spores, it creates these little olive-shaped things. It even looks like it has a little pimento. At first, the cells that make up the outside of these little balls are flush with water, nice and plump. But sphagnum
oh my god, 2 super alloy.
Slowly start to dry out.
Jesus.
As they dry, those plump cells start to collapse laterally, causing the whole thing to become more like a tube. This builds up pressure inside, and at the same time, the drying out causes that ring of tissue at the top to weaken until suddenly the force of this explosion creates a vortex ring, like a smoke ring, that carries the spores upward where they can catch the wind. Listen, if you're interested in learning new things as much as I am, you'll appreciate something that makes browsing a whole lot smarter. Tab Islands let you right. I know what you're thinking, sneezing out spores and pollen, that's child's play. What about something with some more heft to it? But if you look close there, you might be able to see some witch hazel seed pods. When these pods dry, they open up a bit and you can see the seed. The drying also causes the pod to shrink. This exerts a pinching force on the back of the seed, which is held in place by friction or a small layer of cells. They don't know. When the force is big enough to break that attachment, it sort of pinch pops the seed out. But the seed doesn't just pop out willy-nilly.
Damn.
It has a spin to it.
You really just
The
spit like
spin
that.
creates a gyroscopic force that keeps the seed from tumbling.
Oh, I
It makes it
need to
more
get food growers
aerodynamic.
going.
A number of plants put some spin on their seeds. The habio tree puts a little backspin on its
I like the little
disc-shaped
sound effects
seeds.
this guy's making.
Same with the hairy wild petunia. My hairy wild petunia is a bit itchy as well. But all this spinning helps these seeds travel farther. But back to that witch hazel pod. You'll notice that as it dries, the two sides kind of bend back. And that's because there's a way to make things bend using moisture. Here, let's look at dead plants for a moment. Bear with me. On this top layer of wood, the grain
Damn,
goes
we
the
ran out
long
of
way,
power, didn't we?
and the bottom layer is made out of pieces where the grain goes the short way.
Darn.
All right, you glue it all together and then start drying it out. The way these pieces are arranged, the bottom layer shrinks more than the top, but it's glued to the top piece, so the only way it can shrink is to bend. So just by having layers that respond differently to changes in humidity, you can have something that bends on its own. That's how pine cones open up, for example. Their scales are built that way, so as it dries out, they bend, allowing the seeds to fall out. Creeping
Okay,
wood
how
sorrel
much
gets
power
creative
do
with
we
this
need?
bendy business. Its
We only
seeds
need, like,
come in these
3.
pods, and each seed is surrounded by a little jacket called a who gives a shit what it's called. As it matures, that covering becomes more transparent and you can see the darker seed inside. Because of the way it's layered, as it takes on moisture, that covering wants to bend. So much it wants to turn inside out, kind of like one of those novelty poppers. But it's being held together by attachments along this seam. But wouldn't you know it, the seam has a weak point, and if you disturb it, the jacket unzips and turns itself inside out, and that launches the seed in the process. Fluttering. But these seeds have another
What's with
trick.
all these
They try and
goofy
bust
ass
out their
little
sibling,
like
too.
sound
You may
effects
have
they're
noticed that
making?
The jacket has a little hook in the back, and that lines up with the weak point in the next seed's seam. So if one goes, you can get a chain reaction. Yay! Woo, I'm not ready. Now, depending
following
on how
people
these
out.
bendy layers are arranged,
Everybody out.
You can create spring
Everybody out.
pods that open up in all sorts of different ways. Ones that twist like the common vetch, ones that curl up in a fancy mustachio, or those badass exploding spirals of the impatiens. But there's another cool thing about these self-bending layers. The bending is often reversible. They can bend, but when humidity changes, they can straighten out again.
They
If
can
you
bend
put an
back
open
out.
pine cone in water, it'll close back up. Spores of the horsetail use this back and
Just bend
forth
back.
to do something amazing. You can see it right there. They're spreading their little arms out like a parachuter. Each spore has these 4 little strips hanging off them that are humidity-sensitive bilayers. When they're wet, these strips curl up in a tight little ball around the spore. But when they're dry, they open wide and spread out like a yoga pose. They look so happy. I know it doesn't seem like
They
much,
do
but
look
these
happy.
Basic movements allow these spores to sort of walk, taking advantage of small fluctuations in humidity on the ground. All right, they're not winning any races, but look at them. Once these spores
Whoa.
land, they can move around
Look at 'em
a bit
go.
and find a spot
Look
that's
at them
suitable
go.
for them to open up. But sometimes when they ball up, their arms will stick together because of friction. And if things dry out suddenly, that friction will act like a latch, building up tension as the arms want to open up until pop, and that sudden release makes them jump. The seeds
I
of
love
wild
that.
oats
I love
do
that so
something
much.
similar,
I
but on a
love
much
these little
larger
guys.
scale. Each seed has these 2 long hair-like bristles sticking out the back, called none of your f***ing business. Sorry, they're called get off your lazy ass and Google it. All right, they're called awns. Gotta do everything. Now, when they get wet, these awns start twisting around in a circle, and the top half flexes a bit like a knee. This motion allows the oat seed to sort of roll along, like if you were laid down with a bad case of the spins trying to make your way to the toilet. But one of the awns is
Ooh,
longer
that's
than the other,
unfortunate
and that
if that's
means the
how it
two
goes.
twist at different rates. So from time to time, the
Sorry,
two
my
arms
guy.
will hit each other and lock together. And that means some tension can build up until they hop. Now, this isn't just to win the best-worst impression of a grasshopper contest. What these seeds are doing is looking for a way to bury themselves into the ground. Now, they might get lucky and twist themselves into a pre-made hole. Quite fortuitous. Almost looks like a science hippie used his fingers. I'm onto you people. But if the head of the seed gets some purchase on the soil, the motion of the seeds against each other and their surroundings allow the seed to bury itself. Like a screw. But in terms of screwing, these oats have nothing on the stork bill. The
In terms of screwing, what are we talking about here? Huh? What are we talking about? Jesus. Is there anything hidden here further up? No. God damn. Oh, there's a cave over there. Ah, there's a cave. Oh, there's a cave. There's a cave. There's a cave. I want to go caving. Okay, that's what we're doing next. That's what we're doing next. After we get our power back.
Storkbill is like a greatest hits.
After we get our
When
power
seeds
back,
dry out, they explode, sending 5 seeds.
we're going to that
each
cave.
with its
I
own
need
awn.
aluminium.
Little bit of a
I need
spongy
aluminium
vibe.
so badly.
When they're wet, these awns are fairly straight, but as they dry out, they twist up like 2 snakes that gotta go potty. Makes no sense. Anyway, you know what I mean. You're looking at it. The part closest to the seed does the coiling, while the top of the awn just kind of hangs out. The curling and uncurling allows them to move around a bit, but when they get at the right angle, the barbed tip of the seed can find a crack in the soil, and then the whole thing becomes an incredibly efficient vehicle for writing sex jokes. With the screwing and the moisture and the twist, it's a bad joke machine. And it plants a seed, so it does both. Anyway, some science hippies caught a whiff of this screwing action, and they were like, I bet there's some other seeds that wouldn't mind drilling dirt. So they used the design of the storkbill to create a version that could carry other seeds. And these things use humidity in the same way, and look at that, they work. There's a little tiny baby plant. Hey, did you know the seeds that explode?
Whoa! It transmits other things, other seeds. Okay. Okay, up next is Minecraft's Progression is Awful Part 2. This one is by The Geek Factor.
I'm sure some of you have seen this video. That's a pretty good video if I do say so myself. First, I want to express how awesome the insane amount of interaction and support has been from that video. It's meant so much to me. I received a ton of comments on this video and thousands of people have subscribed to my channel because of it. And I'm extremely grateful for that. Truly, you're all helping me make this YouTube thing a feasible career, which is more than I could have asked for. It's crazy that as an audience, you guys can turn the Geek Factor from being some random guy's small channel into a real show that can reach so many people. But what is this YouTube channel? What is my goal with it? I mean, sure, it's an art form, and as I've said before, art can exist solely for the sake of existing, but I think it's clear that my channel, and most channels for that matter, were created to do more than just simply exist. They're created with some kind of goal in mind. Now, you might
I didn't realize I could do this.
To do with Minecraft and progression, but just hang in there with me, okay? I promise. But I do this because I want 2 things. One, I selfishly want to be heard. You know, that's like half the reason most people do videos. I want my videos to reach other people. And this is number 2, I want people to use them as a launch pad for their own ideas or inspiration. Still, I have to ask myself, why? Why do I want people to be inspired by the work that I do? Why do I want people to feel inspired by my work to create their own art? I think it's because of how I was inspired to create my own art. I have total freedom in how I want to present my art, which is pretty amazing. I think everyone deserves to experience the feeling of creative spark that inspired me to make these goofy videos. That being said, it can be hard to work on a video and have it go nowhere. It's difficult to avoid equating a lack of views or likes or comments or money to bad art. That's the nature of YouTube, though. Sometimes a video may flop and I get no money, but hey, that Mario U video is still a damn good video. You should go watch it. Changing gears, though, today I want to talk about a game that has given me the freedom to do whatever I wanted in the same way that YouTube has. A game that has inspired me to create and to do my own art. That game is, of course, Terraria! Okay, sorry.
Okay. That's funny because the first video there was like he talked about Terraria for so long, and then was like, wait a minute, this is a video about fucking Minecraft. Like, why am I still talking about Terraria? But funny bit.
Bad joke. Let's talk about Minecraft.
Hell yeah! I can't wait to be sad about this game. I can't wait to be fucking sad about this game. It's gonna be great. Silicon, magnesium, iron.
I want to say right off the bat that this video is in no way a redaction of the points I made in my previous video on Minecraft's progression. Also, I want to explore Minecraft's progression a little deeper with this video. In my original video, I stated that I was judging Minecraft purely as a survival sandbox and not so much as a building game or as a platform to do your own things. And I think this was a bit misguided, maybe short-sighted, maybe. So much of Minecraft's progression is in service or directly linked to building and designing your own experiences. To that extent, I think I was unfair in my analysis of the game's main progression. Yes, it literally is as simple as mining wood, stone,
I want
iron,
a
diamond,
biodome.
and netherite, but now I'm
I
beginning
want a
to think that there's
biodome.
much
We
more
need more
progression
heat.
going on within the mind of the player than in the game. And that's important, and unfortunately it's something that I didn't really take into account in my first go-around. So today, I want to talk you through Minecraft's progression, again, from a few key perspectives, and then talk about it from a new and hopefully improved viewpoint. I will touch on some of the solutions and issues I had previously mentioned, but with additional commentary. At the end of this video, I plan to address what I consider a much bigger problem with Minecraft, maybe even the biggest. It's a perspective that I think may be a bit surprising. So, once again, let's talk about Minecraft's progression.
0.3, 4.5. Oh wow, so these are like effectively useless.
See
They're
that?
just taking up
You just
power.
witnessed the start of a great adventure. This player has just taken his first steps toward a journey that can be about almost anything he wants. From here, what happens is entirely up to his imagination.
Damn.
Now, I want you to think for a minute
Already an L
about
in
the
this video.
significance of this moment. Chopping down the first tree. I'll give
Yeah.
you a second. What does that tree represent? This tree,
Beginning.
my friends, is the beginning of whatever this player plans to do. The tree is a catalyst. Everything that will be created in this world stems from this single tree. The choice to punch that tree is the choice to begin. Dozens and hundreds of ideas and hours of game time may arise because of this. Mega builds, or maybe just a simple cottage. Trying to collect all of the armor trims, or maybe just a
Increased
couple.
movement speed would be
Perhaps this
so
player will
useful,
create a machine that
actually.
does all of the work for
I just
him.
need 2
Maybe
aluminum
not.
and 2
Whatever
fabric.
happens, this single moment is the beginning of it all. That tree's sacrifice is the birthplace of creativity, and therefore, all the things that come from it can be seen as honoring what the tree allowed the player to do, no matter how insignificant or unrelated it may seem. Ah yes,
Damn.
our player has just crafted their first set of tools. The tree is still with them. These tools will assist the player in building the foundation of what happens next. With this simple wooden pickaxe, the player will go on to create another pickaxe, maybe mine some stone and make a furnace, and get some coal to light his way. It's really up to him. After
No, I'm
finding
not
some
gonna
stone,
lie.
He uses the remaining sticks to create better stone tools, which he can then use to mine faster.
Mine's
With
3
this, our
stone.
player sets
I mine
sights out to
3
gather
stone
enough
and
food.
then immediately
Hey,
get
after all
stone
that hard
tools
work,
and then
I'd
throw
begin
the
to
stone
feel a
tool
little
away.
bit too.
I'm not gonna
After
lie.
killing some sheep, our player crafts a campfire and settles
Anybody
down
else?
just before the night falls.
Nobody makes a
good.
fucking campfire. Nobody makes a campfire in this game. When's the well, unless I'm using it for like building purposes. It's so inefficient. It's so inefficient. Like it's annoying to craft and it just doesn't have a good feeling to it, you know? Anybody else? Am I crazy on that? Am I crazy on that? Oh, is this iridium? It is iridium. Okay. That's good to know. An iridium cave. Okay, sorry, I got distracted.
Solid first day. As our player is building his house, he ventures around a little bit and finds some strange rocks. This stuff is iron. He wants to look for more of it. Tons of it, really. Maybe he can build a castle. Maybe he'll find a new way to travel. Or maybe he'll just keep it as a memorial for the first days on this world. It's up to him. As our player finds more and more iron, he stumbles across big and exciting caves. He finds himself inside of an old abandoned mine shaft. Some torches still light the way, but soon he finds a pale blue ore. Diamonds.
I
This is a
wonder what
magical
that
moment.
is.
The number of opportunities the player has just created for himself is endless.
This guy going out of his way to mine around it to see how many he has, because that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. Is mining around it to get an idea of how many there actually are.
New
That's so
pickaxes,
funny to
new
me.
armor, new weapons, new places to go. This is it. While exploring, our player may stumble across old portal-like structures that have been left to ruin. He recalls a conversation he had with a friend who claimed that a diamond pickaxe can mine obsidian. and so he ventures into the deep, fighting off dangerous
Yeah, I
monsters
do
as
remember
he
what my
goes.
friends told me
Once he has
about
obsidian, he
Minecraft
completes the
because I
search
can't
and uses the
remember
flint and steel he
Minecraft
found
stuff
to
at
open the
all.
portal, making way to a whole new dimension.
I always
Tons of
forget
new
what
blocks
I
and
need.
ideas emerge from this dimension.
Oh,
Over time,
it's
he
a
learns to
moon.
build more. He
Ooh.
learns to build better. What was once a lonely little house has become a little town, complete with a couple of farms and a few houses for villagers. From here, our player ventures across the depths of the Nether, finding his way into bastions and fortresses alike. Little does he know, all of this hard work has led him to a very specific item, the Eye of Ender. Once he has crafted these Eyes of Ender, our player finds himself following one as it soars into the air, until it eventually disappears into the ground. After lots of mining and lots of searching, he finds himself in a stronghold, and before he knows it, the end portal is lit. This is it, the end of his adventure. All of this hard
I'm
work
just
has finally
exploring
paid
right
off.
now.
The battle begins.
Oh, for
Our player
fudge
shoots
sake.
aimlessly at the dragon, occasionally hitting it, but the dragon seems to be invincible. Then, after some time, he realizes those strange beams coming from the crystals atop the pillars seem to be healing the dragon. He can shoot a couple with his bow, but some are simply out of reach or something's covering them. He'll have to build. As the dragon soars through the air, our courageous player climbs up the towers and
Oh
destroys
my
the remaining
god,
crystals.
now my dog
Now
needs
it's just a
stuff.
matter of defeating the dragon. Through much dedication and strategy, our player finally
Give me like 1 second, for fudge sake. We're just turning the music back on for half a second. What the fuck, dude? Go outside. All right, we have returned for approximately 5 minutes until.
strikes down the Ender Dragon, and thus
Okay.
their adventure
So
comes to a
we actually
close.
don't have room in our inventory. We have to go back.
Except not really. In fact, this might just be the beginning. With the dragon out of the way, our player can now find Elytra and Shulker boxes.
My
two
Minecraft
necessary items
experience
for
doesn't
expanding
actually
his
start
base
until
and
after I've killed the
expanding
Ender
his
Dragon.
collection. From here,
Hell,
he
I don't
uses
even
these
go
tools
out of my way to
build
kill
up
the
more
Ender
and more
Dragon at this
things.
point.
He could
I
finally
go kill
build that
the
castle he's making up.
I go kill the Ender Dragon once I get tired of walking to places. That's when I kill the Ender Dragon. Is when I want an Elytra. It's the only time.
Or build a whole town, or simply explore new parts of the world he hasn't seen yet. Nothing is off limits. The only thing stopping him at this point is his own imagination. That is the beauty of Minecraft. That is everything Minecraft is meant to be. I think this journey,
Yeah.
especially for new players, cannot be forgotten. But I've only shown you one story. A story that represents what Minecraft is meant to be for a single individual. It is his story and his experience. There was much he did not see, much that he did not do. Because
Chat, we've talked a lot about his story. But what about her story? Where are the ladies in all this? Where are the ladies at? Where are the women at? That's all I'm asking. Where are the ladies at?
to him, the most important thing was to create and to make things his own. It is likely that he'll play it again and try new things, and his knowledge will expand because of that. Imagine for a moment another player. She's been playing Minecraft for a little bit now, and she understands the basics of
her story! Her story! This is what we fucking came here for. This is what we're here for. Hell yeah. Pre-watch? Yeah, hey, I did not pre-watch this. I pre-watched the other one. I did not pre-watch this one. I promise. I crossed my fucking heart. I swear to God, I did not pre-watch. Anyways.
Same progression. She's in the same world for a few months. She's made a quaint little house, got a nice set of netherite armor, and even defeated the Ender Dragon. But she's grown tired of mining for materials and keeping track of her various farms. She's bored of the simple homestead, so she's
automate that shit.
Spends hours
Yup.
researching and learning the complexities of
Yup.
redstone, hoping that she can somewhat automate
We need
this
more
process.
pressure.
She learns how to create farms that can do all of the hard work for her. Once this is done, she can relax and work on expanding her home. She upgrades villages and protects them with a light and fortifications to keep them safe from the undead. She's an experienced player, and while the mechanics of the game are not new, she still finds a way to enjoy the game as she discovers and shifts her goals to continue her journey.
How do
But
I
let's
get?
imagine
I
another
need
player,
more
one who
aluminum.
was playing the game for, let's say, over a decade. They're tired. With every new update, they begin to lose hope for the future of the game. And it seems like every new controversy, every half-thought-out mechanic is closing in on them, forcing them into a box. What was once a game of endless creativity and joy has become something stale. They've seen it all. They've climbed the tallest mountains and ventured down to the darkest caves.
Stop
They've
it.
defeated the Ender Dragon more times than they can count. In hardcore, too. They've played adventure maps, multiplayer, and mods. They've tried different texture packs and
Stop
shaders
it.
to make the game look different, but to them,
Stop
it's
it.
just not enough.
Stop
Minecraft has been a
it.
staple in their life for over a decade. How did it become so far from the magical
Stop playing
experience
this
of their
fucking
childhood?
song right
Have they
now. I'm
become
gonna lose it.
complacent in their world, not willing to venture out of their comfort zone? Is it their fault? Is it the fault of the game? Perhaps this is what growing up entails. They have forgotten the importance of that first tree. They've forgotten the magic of the endless sandbox. And while it's sad to see, perhaps this player should leave the game for a while, take some space. Perhaps they need a break. If they choose to never play the game again, that's okay. Games are not meant to be played forever. At some point, each one of us will either adapt or move on, and either choice is completely valid. But if we choose to sit in perpetual discomfort for fear of making the wrong decision, we will only hurt ourselves. This
See
player,
something blue over there. That's ice.
this player is hurting. They remember the countless friends they've made over the years, and the countless friends they've lost, the houses built, the battles won and lost. They can see them in their memory, sure, but it's cold. It's a cold memory, one without feeling. And the truth is, I'm all three of these players. I was the naive kid who went into the world without a care or expectation. I was the experienced player who didn't want to go through the hassle of grinding. And I was the player who felt like their time with the game was over. But there was nothing else that could really revive that sense of wonder and joy I used to feel. In many ways, I'm willing to bet that some of you have been all three of these players too at some point. The experience of a long-time Minecraft player can vary widely, but I tried to pick a few scenarios that could branch out as far as possible. So when I made that video about Minecraft's progression a few months ago, I have to ask myself, what kind of a player was I? Had I lost sight of what made Minecraft special? Had I lost my sense of creativity and joy? And you might know the answer, but I think I kind of did. Watching that video was actually kind of hard for me. Weirdly, I think I was venting out my frustrations with YouTube and the path that I was going down. Back then I was doing like 3 video essays a week, and that was pretty hard. I felt a need to just make tons of content without realizing that I could
So
probably
much
make better
aluminum.
content if I just slowed
So
down.
much
I made tons
aluminum.
of content because I felt pressure.
That's
I wanted to make
sick.
sure you guys had plenty to watch for me. That 1.21 video was a massive risk I took. I had an idea for it, and I don't know if I got lucky or if it was just a really good move at the right time. And because of that, I pushed myself too hard. I felt a lot of resentment because I was tired. I was sick of making Minecraft
So
videos.
much fucking
That's why
aluminum.
playing Vintage Story came right after that, and that's why I was so happy to play it. But then something happened as a result of that progression video. My subscriber count doubled, and now it's even gone more than that. A lot of people agreed with that video, and that felt good. Even now, I think I made multiple well thought out and valid arguments in that video. Nonetheless, a lot of the comments got me thinking. I spent too much time arguing it out with people who disagree with my take instead of digesting what they were saying. I try to stick to the comments that seem to be genuine rebuttals that came out of a place of respect and not hate. People who just said things like, "L take," were clearly not there to have real discussions, but the people who said, "Good video, but here's why I think you're wrong." Those are the people that I listen
Oh,
to.
yeah.
Those are the people I love hearing from.
I
Those are
love
the
hearing
comments
from
that
those
stick with me
people.
while I work on my part-time job or write other video essays. So, is Minecraft's progression bad?
Is it?
Kinda, not really. My progression in Minecraft was learning how the game works on a fairly deep level. I mean, I can't code worth jack shit, so my knowledge is limited, but I know what it means to make something that people will enjoy.
Yeah.
When my server Elysium Miles was open, it peaked at around 830-ish members in the Discord. Now that server's closed and it's dropped down by about 110 people or so, but that's still 720-ish people who are waiting for me to either reopen the server or release it as a map, and that's pretty insane to me. There are so many people who want to experience Minecraft in a new way, in a way that isn't just the same vanilla progression over and over again. That's beautiful to me. My progression in Minecraft is my own, in the same way that your progression in Minecraft
Area
is your own.
lamp.
If I feel bored with the game, it's likely because I'm not challenging myself enough. If I feel as though it's getting old or just tiring, it's usually because I'm tired. And I'm old. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. Wait. As I said earlier, I think a lot of the solutions I listed in that original video
I'm
are still
tired and
valid,
I'm old.
and as evidenced by the fact that, you know, not to brag.
Okay, really quick. We can make so much stuff. I want to make a tier 3 drill. That's the first one I want to make. I've been wanting to make one of these for a fudging minute. These things are crazy. Crazy, crazy strong. Okay, so this makes 17 pressure, 17 NPA per second. This one makes 1.5. So one of these, it just doubled. I think it just doubled my heat production, or my pressure production. I think that just doubled my pressure production. I'm not even kidding you. Wait. Heat. No. That's actually insane to me. Okay. Anyways, back to this.
Implementing things that line up closely or one-to-one with what I asked for in that progression video. In that sense, I feel extremely vindicated. But it's kind of like you get the correct answer, but you came to that answer in the wrong way. It's like when you know the answer to a math question, but you don't know how to prove it, so you just kind of bullshit your way through the problem, hoping your teacher doesn't notice that you just made that mistake because she wants you to, like, show your work or something. I'm not saying I intentionally bullshitted my arguments. No, not at all. Rather, I think I came up with solutions first and then tried to figure out what the problem was after. I think I worked at it in the wrong direction. So I'm going to try to fix that. I'm going to tell you what I think is wrong with Minecraft and then give a direct solution to that issue. Once again, I want to preface this by saying this is my opinion. People often have different ideas when it comes to game design, and I welcome debate, but dear God, do not tell me I'm missing the point of Minecraft because I just spent the last however fucking many minutes trying to prove that I understand Minecraft.
Oh my God. Wait. This is an automated message Wait, we're a convict? Okay. It says, you've chosen to have your sentence commuted to an extradition. To get all the charges against you dropped, you must fully terraform this planet. Our sensors would periodically scan your progress and send you required blueprints. Do not try to contact Sentinel Corp. If our sensors do not detect any advancement in the transformation process, you'll be considered missing and the charges will not be dropped. Advanced craft safety. Hey, yo. Wait. Huh? Blue sky. Oh, blue sky. We did it. Holy shit. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna make this a little bigger. So actually, you know what? We're gonna go big game for a little bit. We're gonna go big game little video. Because I think this is probably a little more entertaining to watch at the moment. The video is really good though. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the thought process. Like I don't know. I agreed with this guy's first video where it's like Terraria just feels like I can do it over and over and over again and never get bored of it. But I think the thing with Minecraft's progression is that, like, I don't know, it's just easy to do. So I don't have to worry about like having to make spreadsheets upon spreadsheets upon spreadsheets upon spreadsheets to like make a single weapon, you know? So let me go let my dog back in. I'll be right back. Ugh. Wait. pooch has been fed. The pooch has been fed. All right. Back to it. Back to it.
Let's start with mending.
We have a blue
villagers.
sky.
You all know how I feel about this one, but I
Researchers
promise
found on
that
the
it's
planet to
new
increase the
to say.
terraformation
And I
index here,
apologize
not
in
only
advance
to
if
find
this
into
is
the
something I've
terraformation
heard
complete.
before from me. I think it's objectively bad game design if RNG is the sole way players get enchantments, especially like the best ones in the game. Doubly so in a game like Minecraft where you emphasize player freedom. I see a lot of people saying that the 1.14 villager update fixed mending because players were no longer relying on RNG or fishing or end city loot to get mending, but this is wrong. Like, you're still using RNG. Breaking lecterns over and over until you get mending is RNG. There's no skill required, and it's just you're doing it over and over and over again until you get it. You're just replacing the RNG with another form of RNG. With the experimental villager changes, this issue is fixed entirely. There is no more RNG. Swamp villager librarians now have a 100% chance of giving mending. Yet there are still some issues with the system.
Okay.
Knowing that getting your hands on a swamp villager can be a bit, well, let's be real here, a huge pain in the ass. I think the biggest issue comes down to the actual moving of villagers. We've solved the RNG issue, sure, that's good, but we've created a new
nuclear
one.
reactor
Leads for pretty obvious reasons, and using boats is janky, so most players will likely just wait around in a swamp for a zombie villager to spawn rather than go through the work of transporting villagers. This isn't great. However, if I'm going to be brutally honest with you, if you're not willing to put the work in, why would you then feel entitled to the best enchantment in the game? Mending is, without a doubt, the enchantment that every player needs. Why shouldn't that take some work? I think people just get this idea in their head that they need mending and they need it now, so doing any real work for it is too hard and they don't want to rely on RNG to get it for them. Which is like, you can't really have your cake and eat it too, you know? You can't really oven when you out of the hot food cold eat the food, you know? You gotta pick your poison. And if you don't like the villager changes, you don't have to turn them on. That was a crazy reference. It's an opt-in change as of now. Mojang has been listening to community feedback as of late and will likely make changes to the new system in the future. If you don't like this system, make your voice heard. Not to me, though. I don't
Uranium
need more telling me how bad these changes are. Like, I get it. You don't like it. I know.
Tier
Take
4
those opinions to Mojang themselves.
Tier
I
4
promise they'll listen
backpack.
to it. I don't give.
Wait, how many
the other
super alloys do I
criticism
have?
heard of my original argument was that I didn't have to make villager breeding farms. And
Oh,
slave
that's
camps.
instant.
Correct.
That's on site.
That's true.
That's
it's a
on
good thing I
site.
never said anyone had to do it, right? But there
That's
is
on
this
fucking
weird
site.
hypocrisy in
Hell
Mojang's
yeah.
policies. Like,
Hell
they won't
yeah.
add fireflies to the game because in real life they kill some species of frogs, but they'll let us kill parrots with cookies, and then they'll also let us make borderline slavery breeding camps.
Iridium
Does
rod.
that not feel a little weird to you? It's so morally inconsistent for a game meant for all audiences that prides itself on the safety measures they've taken for
we
young
need a lot
people.
more super
See
alloys.
censoring of swear words in Bedrock Edition and like chat reporting for proof of that. So here is a
Aluminum,
direct
magnesium,
solution to
silicon.
this issue. Make villagers easier to move and keep the experimental villager changes. How can we make it easier to move villagers? Bells. Every livestock mob in Minecraft can be led around via some kind of a plant. You can hold the plant in your hand and the mob will follow. Pretty simple stuff. Just do this with villagers and bells. You can extend the following distance, like 10 blocks or so, that they don't fall behind as easily, and just have villagers follow you wherever you need to go. Push them into a boat, push them into a swamp, do whatever you need to do to get them there. Is it like herding livestock? No, not at all. I don't know why you would think this is the same thing at all. But if that deters you, you can make it so they're only able to go when you give them gifts like crops and whatnot, so they have a reason to go with you. I know what you're thinking. Doesn't this just incentivize slavery camps? No, not any more than Minecraft currently does. It just makes it easier to get the villagers moved around. If you want a solution to the slavery issue, I think Terraria Deadass has a pretty good solution to this that I think we can adapt. Give villagers a certain amount of space they need to feel comfortable. My solution here is what I'm calling the comfort meter. Ideally, there would be like several factors that impact this comfort meter. Here's a list of a few things that I think could be possible factors. Villagers need a minimum of a 5x5 interior house to be comfortable. The house needs a door, a light, a bed, and a workstation. The villager must be able to leave the house and reach a nearby bell. There would be a minimum and maximum number of nearby villagers for the villager to feel comfortable. An iron golem should be present. A villager should live within a 30-block cuboid radius of a bell.
Okay.
Again, these are just some factors that I could kind of think of off the top of my head. I'm sure you can come up with different ones. And you might be saying, I thought you don't want Minecraft to be more like Terraria. Well, if you know anything about the NPC system in Terraria, you'll know
Oh
what
yeah,
I just
we're
described is
oxygenating the
way
shit out of this
different, Not even
place.
close to the same thing. But
Maybe
someone's
oxygen
gonna say
becomes
in
like
the
a
comments, so I'm gonna
non-issue at some
preemptively get
point.
to
That
it.
would be
If a
awesome.
villager's comfort meter is high, they
Oh
should
my
have
god,
cheaper
we are
prices and
entering
more
cloud
stock.
stage so
If a villager's
fast.
comfort meter is low, they should have higher prices. Additionally, villagers may not be as willing to sell things to the player
Oh,
if their comfort
shit's starting
is
to take
too
off.
low. This system forces people to not do slavery if they want good prices. Is it fucked up that players need a monetary incentive to avoid slavery? Maybe, but that's where the player base is at. They could make this all into experimental changes to ensure that
Okay.
everyone has the option to play the game as they want. They could take this opportunity.
When do
to
we get our
really
next
listen to the community. But Garrett,
I think we need to look at nuclear reactor. Like I feel like that's our next step, yeah?
It's really good though. Wouldn't this alienate new players and make it harder for them? Not really. Like how fucking hard is it to build a 5x5 house and stick some basic shit in it? An 8-year-old could figure that out. Are you going to tell me that's complicated when the game includes things like potion crafting, which is literally impossible to figure out without Googling it or having prior knowledge? No, I don't buy it. You could add things to a game to make them slightly more challenging or deep, and people will learn it. Or as many of my detractors like to argue, you could just not do it. So I think my solution here is flawless. I would give you the choice to have it turned on or off. Moving on from villagers, overall there is a bit of an imbalance between the challenges and rewards in Minecraft. I mentioned this in my original follow-up video to part 1 of this series. Is it a series now? I don't know. I don't think so. My issue here is that things like the basic dungeons and ruined nether portals offer greater loot than things like ocean.
Oh,
monuments
so
when compared
these
to
are
the amount
barely
of
worth
work
it.
that's required
And
to
honestly,
conquer
we
either
could
one.
probably take away the
I
wind
apologize to anyone
turbines
who's
and
watched
put
my
solar
original
panels
video, but I'm
out.
gonna say it again. Ocean monuments kind of suck in terms of rewards unless you really love to build with prismarine or need sponge for a specific project. They're a pain in the ass to get through, and compared to the loot you can get from a ruined nether portal, I'd sooner loot 15 ruined nether portals than 15
Oh, you know
ocean
what?
monuments.
Maybe we do
Things
need
you can
those.
get from a ruined nether portal are like invaluable compared to the quirky souvenirs of gold from an ocean monument. You can get things like gold blocks, golden gear, golden apples, golden carrots, glistening mountains, flint and steel, even iron nuggets. Like, what do you get from an ocean monument? Prismarine, 1 armor trim, and sponge? Like, yeah, sponge is admittedly useful for certain projects, but it's like really situational. And I'll say it again, if you don't like prismarine, going through one of these things for the armor trim isn't really worth the hassle, if you ask me. Now, I'm gonna predict another comment, so bear with me. It's being a psychic's kind of hard. But you don't have to go through the ocean monuments. This is true, but I don't have to go through any structure in Minecraft, so what's your point? The imbalance still exists whether I choose to partake in it or not. That's like saying, yeah, the burgers at this restaurant are ass and cost too much, but you can just eat the chicken wings instead, so stop bitching. Like, that doesn't make the burgers any less shitty. Thank you for reminding me that my options are limited. The obvious solution to this problem is to add like barrels or chests or even vaults to the ocean monument.
Okay, we have
Let these
135
chests have
production. We
nautilus
need
shells
more
or
production.
prism
We
shards
need
and
more.
crystals, or better yet, do what was done with the
We'll
trial
probably
chambers.
just use
Give
this
a
to make
unique
another one of
piece gear.
those.
Perhaps pieces of a
Wait.
faster prismarine themed boat. Perhaps pieces of an
We'll make
ancient
another
fishing rod
tier
with
2 heater,
capabilities and
actually.
durability above that of a normal
Titanium.
rod. You don't need to go to this option for fishing, but
Silicon.
it's something you can do if you want to.
Iridium.
That's literally what Minecraft is all about. The option to do more without forcing it. The turtle shell, the trident, and now the mace prove that people clearly enjoy unique pieces of gear like this, and clearly Mojang does too, so why not add a few more of these around? They do nothing but add to the world in fun ways. They give you reasons to explore. I cannot possibly think of how this harms the game. Clutter? Bloat? They're gonna keep adding things to the game anyway. Might as well make the bloat and clutter worth a shit. But none of this matters at all.
Damn, he's getting angry. I mean, hey, good on him, but fucking A.
Getting to those unique items is piss easy, or at least piss easy for the experienced players. And knowing how easily things can be cheesed in Minecraft, it would be easy. For those of you who don't know, so many of the problems with Minecraft's challenges come down to poor hostile mob AI. These fellas are easily manipulated into being trapped or attacking each other. It happens far too often. I suggested in my original progression video that skeletons shooting each other shouldn't always result in them turning to each other.
Yep.
This can be toggled like with difficulty.
I
The
should have
harder
gotten
the game is,
agility
the less
boots. I
likely a
totally forgot
skeleton
about
shot by
those.
Another skeleton would be then turned to shoot another skeleton. Wait, hold on. Sorry, that's a dumb sentence. Let me try that again. In the case of friendly fire amongst the Bony brothers, calcium cousins, if you will, the odds of the victim the odds of the victim in this situation turning to shoot the suspect should be decreased as the player ups the difficulty. There. Okay, I think that makes sense. I think. In easy mode, it's 100%. They will always turn on
Jeez.
each other. In normal mode, 50%. Hard mode, 25. Hardcore, Zero. I think this is a great system.
No,
but I want to add to it.
I think that is such a good solution. I think that's fantastic. I think that's a fantastic solution. One of my primary issues is that mob spawning, I believe, if I'm correct, mob spawn in greater quantities and harder difficulties. And so if you're going to be upset that things are like, if you want things to not attack each other as much, then there needs to be, we need to check the balance on that. See how it works with that many dudes in the area, you know? Like, what's going on? Oh, hi. How are you doing, Alicia? Allie, how are you doing, love? Very nice to see you. Welcome in. We're playing Planet Crafter and, you know, watching some videos together. This one's about Minecraft's progression. So it's just the creators currently, he's talking about, we're talking about the way that Minecraft's progression needs work, how it needs to be like altered. And this guy is basically making an argument about the system being like how it's flawed and like what ways he would like fix it. So this is a 2-part series actually. And the first one he talked a lot about like how automation kind of kills the game a bit, which to an extent I kind of agreed with, but also like you know, just wanting to keep things like more clear. I also kind of disagreed with him from the sense of like, I don't know, there's a certain level of being able to automate things that is really freeing in a game like that for me, because I really enjoy what? Tier 2 deconstruction ship. Okay. Nice to know. But yeah, it's just a fun little video.
Apply this same sort of system to being trapped in boats. Whenever a mob is near a boat, it can be trapped inside that boat. This can be done for most hostile mobs in the game: zombies, creepers, skeletons, wither skeletons, etc. Pretty much anything close to human-sized. This, for obvious reasons, kills any sort of real challenge when fighting a mob. Like, oh, you've got some wither skeletons coming your way, just throw them in a boat and just watch them sit there and do nothing. There are 2 solutions to this issue that I think could help. The first one is sort of a mirror to the skeleton AI system. Mobs have a chance every 20 ticks or so to escape a boat.
I have an idea to fix MC. All right, hit me with it. Hit me with it. Biggest issue with exploring is extremely long distance. Yes. Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that. Does this game have music, by the way? Multiplayer is a piece of an issue with too many people scattered far apart. Right. I agree with this. That's one of my like primary fears with the upcoming SMP is that like, I don't know, I kind of want my base to be closer to everyone else, but I also know that, you know, there's an issue where people may want to make some particularly large builds. I want to go to that thing, that big arc. There's also ice stuff over there. Ooh. I almost hurt myself doing that. Players in single-player worlds never have a reason to explore past their neighboring biomes. Okay. Ooh, I think I know where you might be going with this. And don't want to build anything far away because they don't travel there often. Yes. Yes. Okay. She's cooking. Wow, we got a lot of iron from that. We got so much iron from that. I think that place is cooked. I'm not gonna lie. There wasn't a whole lot left there. I don't know if I want to go all the way back up there for like the few pieces. That's kind of an issue I'm having in this game, honestly, is like getting from place to place. Like if I had like a teleporter, that'd be sick. Okay, we have 2 oxygen. Let's get 1 more water, and then we can go on a little adventure. Let's grab some titanium and some silicon. I think that's all we need. 2 iron, 2 iron, and titanium. Oh, we got tier 3 heaters. Actually, how do I make those? Aluminum and an iridium rod. That's not too difficult. Do we have aluminum? I don't think we have any at the moment, but those will be, because that makes what? 28 heat? Oh, yeah. One of these is worth so many of these. Oh, that's so worth. Okay. We can replace all of these with 1 tier 3 and it'll be good. Oh, we got a squash. We're making actual food. That's so exciting. Oh my gosh. Okay. So far, we've only been eating space food. Okay. My idea is to make a portal frame in the ancient city, able to be linked to other portal frames in separate ancient cities. Okay. So, you know what would be, that would be a lot like, what was the mod? It was like the little like teleport pillars. Like those little teleport pillars, but they're like different because you have to clear out new ancient cities before you can go on with them. But
This percentage is 0.
like they're like lodestones almost, but they're like little pylons. Yeah, so it's like a late game thing. Yeah. So it's not something you have instantly, but it's something you can work toward. That would be such a cool. Someone needs to make that a mod. That's actually so cool. That's actually such a good idea. Yeah. I have a couple of like modder friends. I might like mod making friends. I might actually see if they'd be interested in making that because that's actually a really cool concept. I thought that's what they were planning in the snapshots. I saw those too and I was like, portal, maybe like people were thinking maybe a new dimension, but I was also like, probably not. That's not really their type of thing to do. And if they do something like that, they're likely to like make it a big event. Like they're likely to be like, oh, there are big things coming. There are big things coming, you know? So I don't know. It's just, that's, yeah, I like that. I like that. We're heading toward the Ark. We have a pit stop over here by this smaller one that had a bunch of stuff in it still. The Skulkus space-time fabric and the Warden is from a higher dimension. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That does make a lot of sense. That is a very weirdly shaped thing, now that I'm looking at it. That's a very unnatural shape. I also see something over there. Do we want to go? Let's go to the Ark, because I think I saw that first. It's a little closer, too. But yeah, oh. That's got to be like a future thing, right? What's going on with the side of my screen? Right here. That's on stream, too. That's not part of my monitor. Okay. Whew, I got a little scared there for a moment. I'd like it to be. Yeah. No, that would be so cool. Honestly. I kind of want to poke around here a little more. I don't know if there's anything in particular in here that I want. Definitely worth like peeking in really quick, but anyways, no, that would be so cool.
Always stay in the boat. In normal difficulty, it goes to 25. In hard, it's 50%. In hardcore, it's 100. This means as you go up in the difficulty, the more likely it is that a mob will break free from the boat you've trapped them in. I think this should destroy the boat in the process, making the item plop onto the floor right next to them, so the player will have to fight the mob to get it back. Alternatively, if this is too much on performance, I could see how mobs checking for if they're in a boat every fucking second could kill performance, knowing how shitty Minecraft is coded. I could see this being turned to just a game rule. Something like
also gives you a reason to put resources in an area that get barely any traffic. True.
When a player puts a boat down near a zombie, they should just not get in the boat. They'll just go around it or avoid it. And while we're on this topic, I think water buckets and lava buckets can also really easily ruin challenges, but I think if a player has the smarts to bring a lava bucket to a trial chamber and alike, they should be allowed to run the risk of getting ricocheted into their own lava. It's sort of a form of cheesing that shouldn't be taken out, considering the skill and risk that comes with it.
Right,
Overall,
I
think
agree
all
with
these
that.
Changes could be implemented in different ways. Giving players the option to opt in or out is always the best thing you can do. People don't want to be
okay, gotta
forced
go
into a
by.
new
Well, thank you
system.
so
I
much for
understand
stopping
that.
by,
So
Elysia. I
give them
appreciate
that
you.
choice. That's something
I
big
think
for
I'm saying that right,
storytelling. Really
Elysia.
good. You have the
Elysia.
option to really customize.
I gotta just
your
call you
game.
Allie, to be honest.
These are my opinions, though, and I want to
But
be clear.
nice
this
to
is
see
my
you. Thank you
subjective
for
idea of
coming
what should be
by.
done. As I said earlier, though, looking at a few recent
Very
snapshots,
excited
really,
to play the
they're
Minecraft.
kind of doing what I said they should do. I feel pretty good about it. But what is Minecraft's biggest problem? What is the one thing that I think could help the game's longevity? Unfortunately, and bear with me here, I think it's
New message
it's some of
received.
us.
Ooh.
The Minecraft community online can be very toxic.
Yep.
There's a lot of hate that gets thrown Mojang's way for various decisions over the years, or Microsoft for buying the game and ruining it or whatever, but like, it's a game. And these people are doing their jobs. I know many of you are too young to have jobs, but walking up to a random Walmart worker and saying shit like, you're lazy
Pranked.
and you suck at your job is kind of a bad thing to do. Kind of makes you a
True.
bad person. Even when they do make a mistake, it's still bad to do that. That's what so many people do to game developers, and they don't realize how hard it is to make games and keep up with a community that is constantly evolving. The game devs and the players should be on the same team. The developers want to sell more copies.
Yeah.
The players want the game to continue succeeding. It should be a win-win strategy. There are ways to critique a piece of art without being mean to the artist. There's no need to get so personal with it. Some of you let your emotional ties to Minecraft cloud your mind.
Damn, this guy's going off. This guy's like not even giving them a chance. They're already dead. No. Let's go ahead and place this like right here so it can be like in the middle. I think would be cool. Okay, so we have a ton of inventory space. This place is massive. Let's go find a little place. Yeah, I think we can go in right here. No, but this guy's actually giving them giving them the work. Haters are in shambles for real.
And you forget that people make games, not corporations. I think everyone needs
Uranium.
to take a step back and appreciate how much Mojang does. A lot of people call them lazy, but since 2009, Mojang has released dozens of free updates to the game. And here's a fun fact. If you don't like the latest update, you don't have to play it. There are plenty of people who refuse to update beyond, I don't know, 1.12 or 1.8, or how some refuse to play beyond beta 1.7. And each form of play is perfectly valid and fine. If Minecraft is going down a path you don't like, don't update your game. And if you're a Bedrock player on a console or a phone, just ignore the new features if you can. Mojang rarely adds something that players are required to interact with. I mean, seriously, think about it. What features are you forced to interact with outside of world generation changes? Almost none, really. Don't like Netherite? Don't use it. It's entirely optional. Don't like trial chambers? Don't go in them. Don't care for the experimental villager rebalancing? Keep it turned off. You have that choice. Just play the game you want it to be played, and if you don't like the new updates, stay on an older version and use mods to freshen up your experience. But if you're a Bedrock player, I'm sorry, you're kind of shit out of luck there. I apologize. I guess you could pay for mods. Ha! You want Minecraft to be fun again? Try creating something.
Damn.
Instead of being an enjoyer of someone else's creation, try to create yourself. I promise you, you have so many good ideas in your brain, so many creative experiences waiting to be set free. If you have all these thoughts and opinions about what Minecraft should be, then go make it. The only thing that's preventing you from attempting this
what's
is
in
yourself.
here?
I mean, really think about it. The time you've spent watching this video, you instead could have learned how to begin to code or how to build, how to use mods or whatever it may be. You have
This
time.
is so cool.
That's not to
Do
say
we
that
have
you
enough
should always be trying to
uranium?
make something new and unique or fix a problem you have with the game. Obviously, that's unrealistic and you are allowed to offer criticism. There is a lot of value in taking time to just be without a goal. It may not mean a lot to you right now, but if what bothers you is something that you're truly passionate about, you'll make time. You'll find the time to do something because you love it. When we create art, we put a bit of ourselves into whatever it is. That's the beauty of it. There's always a bit of personal touch to it. So go do it. Make your own creations. It doesn't have to be within Minecraft either. Just go make something. Make a YouTube video. Make a new recipe. Make yourself stronger. Make yourself the person you know you can be. Your art is your own. Don't compare it to others. There is no objective way to look at it. In this life, you have limited time. Why waste that time doing something you don't love? Just make something.
Chad, I'm gonna
I'm sure it'll be
cry.
great. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know you were probably expecting me to take a dump on Minecraft like I've kind of done in the past, but at the end of the day, I think the issue is ourselves sometimes. We make Minecraft what we want it to be. We all make art what we want it to be, and I think above all else,
I am literally
Minecraft has
crying
given
and
me the
screaming
creative
and throwing
opportunity
up
to
right
express
now.
myself and the ideas that I never could have without it. And one final note, it's okay to stop playing Minecraft. If you're upset with the game or bored of it, it's okay to quit for a while. You don't have to play this game forever. If you make content about Minecraft, it's okay to branch out. It may not get the same views or bring in the same money, trust me, I know. But it's okay. If you're passionate about something, that passion will show and people will care. It may not be the same amount of people. It may not be as immediate, but people will see it. They'll see the love in what you make. I hope you've seen the love in what I make. I'm really excited to make more content for you guys. I love it. If you want to support my work, you can consider liking and subscribing. If you want to support me more directly, consider becoming a member. It's like $3 a month. It's like a soda, dude. You can get access to all of my video essays early, as well as get full live stream VODs.
That's
I stream
awesome.
Every Saturday.
I love this guy's
I am
content.
moving this week, though, so I may not get to this weekend. If you can't afford a membership, that's understandable. Don't worry. I'm going to be uploading stream highlights on my second channel on Wednesdays from now on. This basically means that you'll be getting 3 bits of content from me per week. You get the main video essay, a live stream, and a compilation that week. So, of course, if you're a member,
Wow.
you get to see all that stuff early, but a like and a subscription works just as well. So, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Wow. Wow. Fantastic. That was such a good video. I enjoyed the heck out of that video. That was so fun. Oh, my feels. Like, honestly, that's something that I think makes this, like, makes it so difficult to play Minecraft sometimes, is that you, like, I don't know. Sometimes you just grow up. I have a lot of ideas for Minecraft still, but I know someday I'm going to close the game and I might never play it again. There will be a day where you play a game for the last time. And that's kind of sad, but oh goodness. Oh, okay.
Friends has absolutely
This one's a little more chill. We're just going we're going to something a little more chill because honestly, I've been enjoying Smiling Friends recently. I've been enjoying the fuck out of it. It's a cute little show.
insane world building. So much so that my viewers in my last Smiling Friends video went crazy in the comment section declaring that I missed so much added lore. So everybody strap in, we're about to cover some more insane world building. Also, hey, I'm Larry. Like, comment, subscribe if you want a sequel to this, and let's get straight into it. First of all, let's get back to Spamtopia. Most notably, the king of Spamtopia, Oscar.
Did you just look into my eye?
Oscar has a lot of hidden origin. Not only is his design similar to that of the Fun Twins, whom appeared in a previous episode of Season 1, but his origin could also be linked back to a show titled Atop the Fourth Wall, and also old Newgrounds animations. The first possible inspiration is Paula, a robot puppet, who the main character of Atop the Fourth Wall develops.
Alright. So then Wonder Woman Boofagee Flappy Kelly Electo Patty Whack in a Dogbone.
However, the other possible inspiration might be from an old Newgrounds show titled Claw Crew.
I want you to buy a high-technology computer for me. If you don't do that, I'll punish you. Do you understand?
Claw Crew is old and relatively obscure, released in August of 2001.
Jesus.
The characters speak using True Voice.
Wait, I'm in a Flash movie? Yep. So you can pretty much make anything you want? That's right. Alright then, show yourself.
Exactly the same as Oscar does in the episode of Spamtopia.
I can't believe it's you, Oscar.
Your letters got me through the hardest years of my life, when I hated my eye the most.
And as with really the entire panel.
I love doing that little fucking voice.
Please enjoy your stay. There's one thing we'll hear, so please okay. Please do not make eye contact with anyone. It's very offensive to us. Please respect our tradition.
Next up, let's talk about lore surrounding this crazy guy named James. A man who is utterly in love with Charlie.
You did it again, James. You pushed away the one guy who actually gave a damn about you.
At the beginning of the Grimly episode, it is revealed that James is
I didn't even realize we could make super alloys now. We can just make them now. Cobalt, iron, magnesium, silicon, titanium, aluminum. So we just need one of each of these. Wait. Okay. Hold up. Hold the fucking phone. Okay. We can make an uranium rod. Okay, we have an uranium rod now. Let's make these really quick. Shredder machine. Ooh. Okay, so I need 2 cobalt, 2 iron. Okay. 2 iron, 2 cobalt, 2 titanium, 2 magnesium, 2 silicon, 2 aluminum. And so now we have 3 super alloy, which means we should be able to make... We need 1 more water bottle, and then we can make a nuclear reactor. And now... Is this gonna be an issue? Should I put this like far away from my... Should I put this far away from my base? I feel like I shouldn't have it right next to it. Ah, what's the worst that could happen? $86.5. Oh, we just made so much power. Wait. We won't have to worry about power for a hot minute. Holy crap. Oh, y'all, that's so exciting. Oh my gosh. Okay. I want to make a biodome for sure. So we're going to need a couple of super alloys, like 3 super alloys, 2 cobalt, aluminum, 2 titanium, and a lerma seed. You know what I just realized? Are we? Oh, wow. We're, greatly speeds up terraformation process by sending rockets into space. Clouds. We have clouds. We just got an achievement. Okay. We are doing stuff fast here.
Who requested a cameo from Grimbly.
Hey, James from Idaho. A little birdie told me it's your birthday today, and you're also a big fan of Gwimbly. Oh yeah, ooh. And I've seen her. I should also tell Tyler to go to hell. I don't know who Tyler is or what that means.
The fact that the James here is requesting Tyler to go to hell seems pretty in character when it comes to the James that we know.
Said I can't really, I'm having trouble here.
Can you shut up?
Now, it is possible this could have been another James, but I think it makes sense that this would be the same James from Idaho. But for me, two of the same name in the exact same episode, I think there's an implication here that James here looked up to Gwimbly. As for characters who have the same name,
Oh, do I not have any more
Jason,
freaking aluminum because of that?
Boyfriend who died in a bike accident,
Yeah, my boyfriend Jason died in a motorcycle accident a few months ago.
and Jason the boss,
Okay.
the 18-year-old son who the boss loves very dearly.
I'm gonna need you to look after my 18-year-old son Jason for me until I get back.
Here's something crazy. Do you remember the Professor Psychotic episode? In that episode, Professor Psychotic has a brother who's rotoscoped. His name goes by Doug. Much like many in Spamtopia, Doug is seen clipping in and out of his body, almost as if he's breaking through reality, as many in Spamtopia.
Okay, we're gonna aim for Biodome next, because that'll really start pushing us forward a bit more. I think that's probably gonna be our best bet. The thing is that eventually we're gonna start making like lakes. I think that's kind of the. Yeah, we're approaching rain fairly quickly, and I don't know if y'all see this, but we're kind of in a giant bowl. And so I fear a little bit that we may end up just being drowned. Just a little bit. And so I think what I might end up doing is I might end up moving my base somewhere else, which will be a giant pain in the ass, but it's like whatever, like we're gonna have to at some point, I think. I think if I remember, I should be able to enter a cave up here because it was covered in ice, but it said will begin to melt at like 100 heat or something like that, and so it should be open by now because we're well above 100 heat. So
Further confirm the theory that Doug and Mr. Psychotic's mom is Spanish, meaning that Doug and Professor Psychotic have Spanish blood in them. Perhaps their father is just a regular human. I mean, maybe what makes you Spanish is being a descendant of someone who's Spamtopian and someone who is human. This isn't the first time we've seen rotoscoping in the series. It happens in season 1 when it comes to that one dude at the party declaring that Pim is too old for this.
Hello there, I'm Pim. Would you like to be our friend?
Whoa! What the f, dude? Don't touch me!
What?
No, I'm sorry.
Dude, what the f?
oh, it starts
Why are
with
you fucking here,
at
man?
100
You're so old.
NK.
Where's your wife? Go home to your family.
100
dude.
NK, not PK.
It is possible that he himself could probably be
Nano
Spanish.
Kelvin instead of
Speaking
Pico
callbacks,
Kelvin.
Remember how in the last video I discussed the Critter War? Well, not only is the thumbnail of that video a parody of a timeline of the Eastern Front during World War II, you can also hear Alan mention the war in the Brothers Egg episode.
Where's the remote? I want to watch the updates on the war.
Remote's broken.
So yes, there was a war that happened between critters and humans. We just don't really know when it happened. Of course, now critters and humans are all good, but according to the comments of my last video, there's a big tension between the humans, critters, and demons that implies a tragic background for the show, which I find hilarious. Almost as hilarious as the mystery of the fifth smiling friend, known as Zongo. Yes, I've covered 4 other fifth smiling friends in my previous video, but Zongo is even more mysterious because he exists outside the show and is a gag between Zach and Michael that was established in the season 2 interview.
A gag?
I was listening to an interview you guys did before about a possible 5th smiling friend. Can you tell me a little bit more about that, and if we're going to see that in season 2?
I feel like I think we'll spoil it if we talk about it too much. I think just go.
Okay, you want to know what I think is so funny? Like, when you think of the voices of Pim and Charlie, like, these two guys look exactly like what you would expect them to look like. Like, goofy little, little nerdy, got a little bit of, and then just, like, a guy. .png. That's literally what it
Go
is.
and find it. He's there. He or she. We don't know. We don't judge. It's. Well, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say that. I think it's. But yeah, it's there
Okay,
somewhere.
but,
in
so
the
we need
background.
aluminium.
What else?
We, the recurring one of the reoccurring themes, and there's a lot of smiling friends, is the 5th smiling friend, right? And so in season 1 we have a hidden one. We have Smormu, who's kind of a joke one. He got beaten to death or whatever happened to him. Zongo. In season 2 we have a character called Zongo. So just keep an eye out. remember, say my name. You ever see Breaking Bad? Say Zongo's name, and it all makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't now, but yeah.
Not only that, but in the season 2 synopsis.
Okay, so our primary issue is right now, we need so much more aluminum. Aluminium. So let's go ahead and grab, I need ice to make some more water capsules, and then after water capsules or water things, we just need to head out. We'll probably look for a new place soon to like make our base, because I don't know if we're like in the water filling area, but I would really prefer not to be there. Okay, we have new messages. Your planet specifications unnamed, corporation ownership unclaimed, habitability level null, sector Izitiel Prime, history unknown, located in Prime sector, pre-civilization sector, crossed mostly by trade ships traveling between big space ports, has 842 planets, 13,511 stars, and is 7,000 parsecs wide. Identified as a possible candidate for future colonization. Managed to locate the system they sent you to. Don't have much time, but I'll try and give you some advice. The success rate of a plan is very low because of an almost impossible task. You should find space food in your pod, and maybe in Space Rex, you'll be able to grow food when we meet the correct requirements. So try to find some vegetable seeds. Exploration and improvements are essential. Explore and improve your equipment to increase your chances of survival. Thank you, Riley. Today was the inauguration of the Space Warp Gate. Took 2 years to build. Was finally allowed us to use it across. Soon as turned enemy power, everything went wrong. All reactors, stailers just broke within a few minutes. Spaceship was drawn to the closest planet. We have tried to fix it, for everything to fix it, but it seems there's nothing we can do. Skipped into escape pods and sent out distress signal. I'm going to my own pod now too. But it waits all these months of work would be lost. Can't understand what happened. This shouldn't have happened. Damn. Okay. We need to make some water, and then I'll make an air capsule. Grass spreader? Where? Oh. Magnesium, aluminum, lerma seed. Oxygen 108 per second? Wait, what? How much is this doing? 300%, 39. Wait. And this is just using lerma seeds. Okay. We're going to make at least one of those the moment we get back. We're going to put it like right there. Well, we need silicon. I can grab silicon on the way. We're going to go over to that one. Over to that spaceship there. And then we're going to head further whatever direction that is. That's not silicon, that's magnesium. Okay.
For smiling friends, he's also mentioned. Zongo may be implicit when it comes to whoever he may be. He could be a background character, or in reality, he's probably just some dumb, like, bullshit that Zach made up. That's most definitely what it is. But if you want something a little more intelligent, when it comes to Satan's daughter, Brittany, there's a lot you can say about her. For one, we can now say we've seen 2 members of the Satan family. But for another, if you look at the demonology book that Pim was reading, the text written in the book is all in Latin. But once translated, it translates to a 2000s love pop song by Emma Bunton titled What Took You So Long. If you want another cool reference, when Brittany screams in this episode,
oh my god, that genuinely got you. I've never seen you jump like that before.
It looks strikingly similar to the violin girl in Courage the Cowardly Dog and her scream.
Oh.
Another funny thing that could be a reference is that Charlie's demon hunting outfit for when he's about to kill the boss's wife looks exactly like Linkara, which Zach and Michael love to reference all the time. And honestly, who cannot love Linkara? When it comes to Brittany's ex-husband, however, the boss, it gets even funnier. For one, the boss doing the puppy face.
Please, I'm serious this time. Please believe me.
Fuck off, dude. That's cheap. That's low-hanging fruit.
That one got you.
Yeah, the dog face. Yeah, the dog got me. Good job.
You love it.
Yeah, I do. You know me. There it is again.
Let's go, Charlie.
Is a reference to the director's commentary for the episode The Smiling Friends Go to Brazil, in where it is joked that Mark,
Okay, so
who
we
works
have
as
a
an
ton of
animator
iridium
voice
in
actor for the
here.
show, had to do a puppy face to get the role as the tourist guy in the Smiling Friends Go to Brazil episode.
Too? Do you about
Hello. I saw you. I
Oh.
saw you
Aluminum.
come across the airport, and I was just wondering if, you a tourist? You a tourist?
Yeah, I'm sorry. We don't really have the time to talk right now. We're in the middle of we're
But
figuring something
you are
out.
a tourist?
Mark was born to play this role, I think. In the middle of,
Yeah.
figuring
He fought to play this.
He fought.
We've
fought.
said no. We're gonna give it to a real
And by the way,
Brazilian
we
man.
gave him a hard no.
Yeah.
He called us on FaceTime crying. He said, "Look how sad I am. Look how sad I am."
And we had to give it. He just did that puppy dog face that he does that we love. That makes us just how hearts
It makes
just
us go
melt.
gaga, and he knows it too. He knows it pushes our buttons. So he did the face. We went gaga. He closes the phone. We go, all right. I guess we got to give him the bit, and then we give him the bit. And
I mean, how can you say no to that?
How can he say
if
no?
you heard it yourself, you couldn't say no. I don't care how hardened you are. How
I don't care what he's
chiseled
asking
you
you
are.
for either. He could ask you to drive off a cliff, and when he does that face, when he does that voice, you do it.
In the same episode, it's established that Professor Psychotic squashing the first egg with a book.
The
Is a
fact that he
reference to,
moves
like,
so
this
fast, like
Russian
the
video, and where this guy creates homunculi and crushes his
guy moves so
experiments
fast.
with a book. A
What is
video
this?
that Zach obsesses
Nice,
over.
okay.
Oh, here's another cool world-building thing. Professor Psychotic has a poster of Bill Nye in the background, and unfortunately for him, in the episodes that would follow afterwards, Bill Nye would just die in front of, like, the Smiling Friends crew.
Well, death isn't scary at all. No, it's perfectly natural.
Yeah.
Even the birds, even the bees, even all of these little things. Yeah, death isn't scary at all.
He really just goes out like
I
that.
imagine he himself also had to mourn the loss of Bill, like Charlie had to.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm still processing the fact that Bill Nye, the freaking science guy, just passed on, and we saw it. I was like the biggest fan of a show. I knew the theme song, Bill Nye. I'm not gonna do it, but yeah, I'm like a mega fan, so that was hard to watch.
Speaking of Professor Psychotic and his brother, when they fight, it resembles a meme referencing The Last of Us Part 2 of the main character Ellie being choked by another character named Abby. It like almost looks
I
exactly
love that they're
like
not
it,
afraid
and
to
that's
do
kind of
that
based.
too.
Not only that,
They're not
but
afraid to
Professor
just
Psychotic
reference
is a
memes.
reference to Dr. Insano, which may be my most favorite reference.
Wait,
of, like,
there's no
any-
way.
Now a new reign of terror begins. My reign of terror.
Together, we can finally succeed in my lifelong mission of creating life. Then I will finally take over the world.
Yo.
Growing up, I used to think Dr.
Ooh.
Insano was like the worst bit on Channel Awesome, accompanied by many other worst bits. But now as I sit back as a 24-year-old, it was actually kind of like Kino. Dr. Insano was basically the alter ego of the YouTuber Spoonie, who he himself has his own like fair share of issues that I won't get into right now. Just know that Zach is a big fan of Channel Awesome. I'm just going to take the second here to talk about the Smiling Friends curse, which if I'm being honest, I'm really just coining that term just now, but trust me. it makes
Oh
sense
my
for me to call it
gosh,
that.
there's so
On the
much
same
good
day of
stuff
the
here.
release of the episode Mr. President, and where it is revealed that worms have control of major geopolitical happenings across the world, it was reported in the news that presidential candidate Robert Fitzgerald
Right-click to
Kennedy
build.
Jr. had a worm lodged in his brain previously. Not only that, but on the same day the episode A Allen Adventure released, and where DJ Spit perishes in a helicopter accident, the Iranian president, who, let's be honest, wasn't a good guy, was announced to have died via helicopter accident as well. Now,
DJ
is there
Spit
an
was a
actual
fucking
curse when it comes to
wild
Smiling
character,
Friends?
too.
Probably not. There's no way Zach and Michael Cusack knew this was going to happen. Fans just find it weird that this happened twice in the same season. I do have to fix a mistake I made in my previous video. In that video, I failed to have realized that Pym stated that Ross Perot won re-election, implying that Ross Perot won his 1992 presidential campaign against Bill Bill Clinton in 1992. In terms of the world building of the series, in another episode it was revealed that Mr. Frog got a picture with President Bill Clinton. Who knows if Mr. Frog took this while Bill Clinton was running in 1992, only for Clinton to lose in 92, or if Bill Clinton had a presidency that took place in a different time period. When it comes to also to presidential
I totally forgot about Ross Perot.
Is dressed up as Ronald Reagan in the season 1 Halloween episode. It kind of foreshadows that eventually Glepp would be president himself, as I established in my previous Smiling Friends video, but Reagan references don't stop here. Ronald Reagan as a character actually does appear in the Frowning Friends episode.
Well, I don't know what that peanut or that fellow over there is saying, but I believe you.
I love that this voice you can see, Charlie.
Competitive business model.
Oh wow, what a great idea.
Not.
Why did you invite us here in the first place if you won't listen to our advice?
None of you are any help. Just get out now.
Continuing on politics, Mr. Frog's proposed economic policies in the episode Mr. President begins with a headline article reading Industrial Society and Its Future, which is an obvious reference to the Unabomber, or also known as Ted Kaczynski, and his manifesto. A theory that a commenter stated in my previous video that really interested me stated this. My theory is that the episodes don't air in chronological order. In the Alien episode, Charlie and Pym don't know if aliens exist, and Charlie hasn't seen the Earth from space. It would make sense that this episode occurred before the Enchanted Forest episode, since neither Charlie nor Pym are faced by the sight of an alien, and before the episode where God throws Charlie back to Earth, since he sees the Earth from space. What could also attribute to this, Charlie seeing Earth from space, in the original episode where Glepp is retelling everything, is all from Glepp's perspective, since by the end of that episode, we see he's telling a story to his grandchildren.
But did all of that really happen?
Yep, hell is actually real, and Christianity was right all along. Sorry.
Oh.
Now, when it comes to the exact
I wanted
location
these
that
so
the Smiling
badly.
Friends are located in, many of the people who commented in my previous video have stated that they are headquartered
Oh, we're
in
so much
Philadelphia.
faster
When you
now.
look in the background of some of the places when they announced the news, you
We're
see the
so
one
much
with Liberty
faster
Tower in the
now.
background,
Oh,
which is,
thank
of course,
God.
located in Philadelphia.
Okay,
What's
okay,
funny
okay,
to me is
okay.
that mentions of Bill Clinton,
What is
Ross
the
Perot,
next
and
steps
Ronald
here?
Reagan implies that much of normal American history has happened throughout the universe of Smiling Friends, implying that the American Revolution and things like the Civil War or World War I and II happened in this universe, the same universe in where a guy named Squiggly Miggly exists. Remember this theory in my previous video, in where it was implied that Charlie's girlfriend was crushed by a bulldozer? Well, another fan theory suggests that maybe she did die in the off-season, as in the episode before she comes back, Mr. Boss is able to get the red crystal, which brings his son Jason back to life. Perhaps Charlie borrowed it to bring his girlfriend back to life, but once again, dude, like Michael and Zach were just bullshitting here, dude. It doesn't matter. We do have some cool callbacks.
They just forgot about her.
Spamtopia
They literally just forgot about her.
You remember this or not? But the last time we hung out, like you and I, you actually sucked on my nose.
Oh!
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Sucked on your nose.
Yep, yeah, you absolutely did. It was the day with all the Desmond Blimley stuff. Like it was like pretty recently. It wasn't that long ago, but yeah, you went for my nose. You got excited. You sucked on it, and you got it.
Well,
and I wasn't. I just want you to know I wasn't cool with that at all.
Sure, I honestly don't remember doing that.
It was recent.
Well, yeah, if I did, I'm sorry. I just don't remember doing that, but it sounded like it really bothered you.
It did bother me.
It references the very first episode of the series.
No.
Come here, Al, you crazy character.
No. No.
Guys, if you want some more world building, this commenter right here, the 711 Devon 4, went into a little more detail surrounding what critters are, the species that Charlie, Pym, and Alan are. He states this: something I found very interesting is the mix of humans and critters. Humans are just that, like Dave, Mr. Frog's producer, Bill Nye, etc. Critters are the multicolored creatures, like the Smiling Friends cast, DJ Spit, the Bliblies, etc. Critters are often lanky and more radically, with bulbous eyes, perched on the tip of their heads. However, there are a significant number that have in-socket eyes. Critters seem to be unable to grow full heads of hair, as most are either bald or have only a few wispy thin hairs on their scalp. Based on the consistency of the critters' design, Spamtopians could constitute
Okay, we have a
their
lot
own
more
unique
heat
category.
going now.
Some critters like the landlord and Charlie's grandma seem to overly stress random words in their speech.
Just wondering if you wanted to hang out with me and smoke weed and fill our bellies with diet soda and play Burnout Revenge for the PS2.
Oh, my beautiful grandson.
Grandma, what are you doing here?
Oh, I cursed and said, damn, in 1958 when I saw your grandfather being shot in the head by that rotten burglar.
That seems a little bit unreasonable. I don't think you should be in hell for that.
Which could be a cultural thing, like an accent or a dialect. Humans and critters are able to date with no taboo, as Jennifer and Shrimp, Charlie and his girlfriend, and the parents of Doug and Dennis from the Brothers Egg episode. This show is packed full of world building that most don't notice, and I love it for that. And basically
Silicon
all I'm saying
magnesium.
guys, is I love smiling friends, I love making YouTube videos, and I love how this was trending on YouTube, and I love my country, and I love my God, and happy 4th of July, everyone. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
Okay, that was fun. That was fun. Okay, this one is about Avatar. It's a Drew Gooden video.
I know. I am too old to be getting this worked up over a Netflix remake of a cartoon that came out when I was 11. But this is not just any cartoon.
It's not.
They're rebooting Jimmy Neutron, and I'm pissed off about it. Avatar is a nearly perfect series. It's one I enjoyed a lot when I saw
Cobalt,
it as a kid, but
2
rediscovering
titanium.
it as an
Okay.
adult actually blew my mind. It's a show that moved me to
And a
tears
Lerma seed.
multiple times. It's something that the creators clearly put so much thought and care into getting every detail right, from the world building to the music. Now, for a long time, I thought it would be impossible to translate this world into live action, partly because of how intricate and beautiful the animation is, and partly because the last time they tried to do it, it was a fucking disaster. I've seen way too many people say in regards to the Netflix adaptation, hey, at least it's better than the movie. Yeah, I would hope it's better than one of the worst films ever made. You don't get points for that. Because of how goofy and awkward this movie
Okay.
looked,
I think we might actually want to start moving our base now.
simply unadaptable to live action. And in a lot of ways, Netflix proved me wrong. This show looks probably as good as a lot.
What if we moved like up here?
I mean, nothing will ever truly compare to vibrant and fluid 2D animation, but the VFX team that worked on this did a really good job of making
What if we
something
moved
that
it over here?
easily could have looked dumb as shit look pretty realistic. Except for the airbending. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, a lot of the scenes are directed a little jarringly, and it's way too dark sometimes. But with what they were tasked with bringing to life here, I think they deserve a lot of credit. But it's funny to me
Okay.
that Netflix nailed the
I'm
part that I
liking
thought
this
couldn't be done well, and
this
messed up
area.
all of
It's
the
very
stuff that should have
central.
been a slam dunk. Let's start with the pilot, because I started writing
It's
this
very
video
central.
10
I think we have a lot of promise
the
here.
first 3 episodes of the animated series into one premiere, which on paper works really well. The end of episode 3 really is where the prologue ends. We've established the world, we've introduced the characters and a little bit of their backstories, and they're literally flying away from their past as they venture forth onto their journey. And while the very beginning of the show doesn't quite reach the heights that it eventually will, I think this is all paced really well and does a good job of doling out enough information to explain what's going on, while still having the restraint to hold on to some things that can be revealed when the time is right. We open on 2 of the 3 main characters, Sokka and Katara. We learn that they're siblings who live in the Southern Water Tribe. Katara is a waterbender, Sokka is not. He belittles her ability, they bicker for a bit, it escalates, and then Katara waterbends so hard that a 12-year-old bald kid falls out of an iceberg. Wait, that's not just any bald kid. That's the Avatar. No one's seen him in 100 years. What the hell?
Okay, we're gonna empty the inventory and we're gonna resort everything as we get moved.
Of their presence. This is Prince Zuko and
Let's make our let's get our first like little let's make a large actually you know what let's make a big living compartment. Why not? 3 iron, 3 titanium, 2 super alloy.
A fight breaks out, but ultimately with the help of his new friends,
We have enough do we have enough to make more
and the 3 of them fly into the sunset. Now that brings us to episode 3, and there is still a crucial piece of information that the showrunners have not yet revealed to Aang because they're waiting until the right moment. The gang heads to the air temple that Aang grew up in, a place where Sokka and Katara know is probably filled with dead airbenders, but they don't have the heart to break it to him. He's so cheerful and excited to just show them where he used to play with his friends. How do we tell this kid that everyone he knew and loved was murdered by the Fire Nation? Instead, they try to cheer him up and keep him distracted. We see a flashback of Aang's former life. He's talking to his friend and mentor Gyatso, someone who we can tell he clearly cared a lot about. Aang talks about how overwhelmed he is at the thought of being the Avatar.
3 titanium, so we need 4 total.
Will be all right. We cut back, they keep exploring for a bit, they find Momo.
I'll just take that for now.
With their big pet. Things are going great until oh shit.
Firebenders? They were here? Gyatso.
Come on, Aang.
El Bozo. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This is a really important scene for the beginning of a Nickelodeon show that up until this point has been pretty lighthearted. Seeing your main character, who's just a kid, find out about the death of his entire people and then freak out and have to be calmed down by his friends. It's a really powerful moment that can only happen because the writers held on to this reveal until the time was right to reveal it. So now let's talk about how Netflix handled the pilot. Instead of starting the show on our main characters, we open on an epic chase. This is streaming, baby. We gotta put a fight scene within the first 10 seconds or people are gonna turn it off and go watch Love is Blind. If you don't brutally murder someone right now, I'm taking my ass to free. But you know what? I'm fine with this cold open. Just trying to grab attention and a quick little
it is. Oh yeah, it is. Hell yeah.
But it should have ended.
Oh, that looks so cool. Oh shit.
This is about one who lives among them.
But the Avatar is yet to be revealed.
Which is why we have to kill them all.
And then we cut to present day to the three main characters, similar to how the cartoon did. I actually think that would have been a really effective opening, because if you've never seen the show and you just watch the Fire Lord say, we gotta kill all the airbenders, and then you cut 100 years into the future and you see an airbender that survived, you'd probably be like, how did that happen? I'm gonna stick around to find out. Instead, we come back from the title sequence and we're still in the past on the day of the aforementioned invasion. I guess we're just gonna do the whole show chronologically, lest anyone be confused. We meet Aang and Gyatso and see them stand and talk for a while, and then we get to watch some people sit and talk for a while, and we cut back to Aang and Gyatso, and they do more standing and more talking, and then Aang flies away, and a whole bunch of murder happens. Oh my god.
We have aluminum. We need the 3 super alloy, the 2 cobalt, the 2 titanium, and the Lerma seed.
This is a show for grown-ups. Cartoons are for babies. We got a bunch of dead bodies in this one. What's crazy to me about this entire sequence is that while they're so insistent on showing something that I honestly think had more emotional impact to just see the aftermath of, they make no attempt to show us any aspects of Aang's personality. I mean, don't get me wrong, the writers take the time to explain Aang's personality to us. He and Gyatso tell us all about him.
I know who I am. I like to play airball and eat banana cakes and goof off with my friends. That's who I am.
I feel bad for this kid because he seems like a very good actor, but the writers keep giving him lines that make it sound like he's about to burst into song.
Monks don't even trust me to feed the baby bison, and I'm supposed to save the world?
Why can't I just be
Osmium?
But this isn't even the worst example of show that they do in this
Okay,
episode.
focus.
Remember I told you
2
about how
cobalt.
Aang finds out that all the airbenders are dead, how he stumbles upon the
3 super
corpse of
alloy.
his former best friend, surrounded by all of the firebenders it took to take him down. Here's how they do it in this show.
Most of them had just arrived for the Great Comet Festival.
The Great Comet Festival. The last time that the Great Comet was seen in the sky was 100 years ago.
Someone just tells him about it.
Everyone in the village knows this story. But you don't. Just as
Lerma seed. We need 1 more titanium, which we can grab on the way.
And that the Southern Air Temple was the first to fall because you've been trapped in that ice this whole time.
Gran reads out loud the entire opening theme for like 2 straight minutes while he has to just sit there and give reaction faces before running out of the room crying. And then he's sad for like 10 seconds and then everything is fine. No time to mope, buddy. You gotta do another walk and talk. This is infuriatingly bad writing. You took one of Aang's most impactful moments from the beginning of the show and turned it into someone else's monologue. It's so weird to me when shows are clearly in a rush to establish as much information as possible, I guess because they think people will get confused and turn it off if they don't have their hand held through every interaction. But it feels counterintuitive. I think what gets people to continue watching something is mystery. You don't need to answer every question I have within seconds of me having it. You can reveal information in small doses and slowly add to it piece by piece. That's what's going to compel me to keep watching something, not paragraphs of expository dialogue whenever you feel like you've got some lore blanks to fill. It's also weird to me that they still try to recreate the air temple moment in this episode, even though it's not new information for Aang. He goes and sees dead Gyatso, who was evidently much easier to kill this time around, and still goes bananas and still has to be calmed down.
I can still put stuff in here too. Oh, we could put so many like of the vegetubes in here.
It actually feels like kind of an overreaction considering he barely gave a shit about it earlier. Also in the original, Katara is the one to calm Aang down while he's in this state. She tells him that she knows what it's like to lose someone you love, but the world needs him and they're here to help no matter what. It's a great moment for the three of them because it gives closure to Aang's past while bridging the gap into this present journey they're about to go on. In this version, Katara just watches while we see a bunch of flashbacks from earlier in the episode, in case you were looking at your phone during that part.
You are my friend.
I really don't understand the obsession with Gyatso in this version. He is an important character, but more so as a memory for Aang, like a symbol of what he lost. He's not that relevant to the present day journey they're about.
They aren't like best friends. It's not like Boomy, you know?
Their relationship, their friendship is the foundation that this entire series is built on. So I think you're doing a huge disservice to that by taking interactions away from Katara and Sokka so you can give them to a guy who died 100 years ago. They do this multiple times in the show. They keep bringing Gyatso back instead of giving that valuable screen time to the more important characters. They even do this in the opening title scroll in the pilot episode. In the original, Katara is the one who does this voiceover, which kind of establishes the show as being from her point of view. And the very iconic lines she says at the end,
"But I believe Aang can save the world,"
actually tell us something about her. They tell us that she's optimistic and believes in her friends no matter what. So they actually managed to add characterization into a sequence that is at its core exposition.
Right.
In the remake, they take this away from Katara so they can again give it to a character.
Was this the Netflix? This is the Netflix adaptation. And that's something that they did like terribly in like the first series as well. Like the movie adaptation. That's something they really fucked up with. Is like they made it so important that I don't know, they just basically didn't even go into like the future parts of the show, which were arguably the most important. Like arguably. Oh shoot. I didn't even think about that before I did it. Well, crap. Let's just put all those away. Go grab all our parts really quick. I knew I needed to move it. I just didn't think about how I was moving it. Biodome, where is it? Here it is. I kind of wanted to spin around. I want it to spin around. I want it to be the other way around. I want the computer like immediately accessible. There we go. Yeah, okay. And now we can make our veggie tubes with all of this, I think. Do we want to like say fudge it in like instead of making tier 2s? Why don't we just we can make a couple of That's actually it's so much better to just make tier 3s. It's so much better to just make tier 3s. So let's just do that, I suppose. How much oxygen is this making? I don't know. We'll get back to that in a second. Let's just start getting the containers over. Let's get our iron.
who died 100 years ago. And that's not even mentioning the fact that everything that's said in this version of the title sequence gets repeated multiple times throughout the episode. It's a very inefficient use of dialogue.
The Avatar, the one person with the ability to master all 4 elements. The Avatar, the next master of all 4 elements.
Only the Avatar, the one person who can master all 4 elements.
Only the Avatar, master of all 4 elements. But when the world needed him most,
he vanished.
When the world needed the Avatar the most, he vanished.
Episode 1 shouldn't feel as rushed at the end as it does. It's roughly the same runtime as the 3 episodes it's adapting. So it's not that they didn't have the time to tell the story, it's that they misused the time they had. They add in all the stuff that probably would have been better if it was just kept a mystery. They waste so much time repeating the same information just from different sources. And they replace interesting character development moments with vague mumbo jumbo.
Bending is about energy and balance. By feeling the energy around you, you can find balance. By finding balance, you can feel the energy.
Aang, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, what the hell is he talking about?
Which is energy, which is balance. Whoa, thanks, Aang. I'm water bending now. And I'm internet bending. Ooh. Sorry about that.
Okay, no, you're cooked.
This video is sponsored by Opera, the faster, safer, and smarter way to browse the web. If you've ever wondered why it takes me so long to make videos, it's because most of my job is writing. And while I'm writing, I like to have 97 different tabs open for every thought that pops into my head. A really cool thing I can do on Opera is sort my tabs into islands. So when I want to shift gears away from my 25-minute Amazon journey and back into working, I can just click one button, hide all of that, and now I'm not thinking about it anymore. It's a super helpful tool for visually organizing my time online. Opera has a free ad blocker built into the browser that you can toggle on and off with one click, which is great for those websites that yell at you when you have one and you need to quickly pretend that you don't. There's a built-in music player on the side.
Okay.
With all the big streaming services like
So we can start with that, I suppose.
I don't need to open a separate window.
And then I can't really put one in the middle of here, unfortunately. It's just like, it's barely the wrong size. It's barely the wrong size. That's so unfortunate. Okay. Anyways. We're gonna need a actually, you know what? I like this wall. It's for my display center. So we can go grab our displays really quick. This is fun. I enjoy this game so much. I'm such a little nerd for this game. I'm such a little dork for this game. Oh my gosh. This is so much fun. I love base building. I'm such a little geek for base building too.
Upgrade the way you browse the web. Download Opera for free using my link in the description. Thank you to Opera for sponsoring today's video. Now, before I continue just getting mad about every single aspect of this show, I do want to answer a more general question of like, what should we expect out of an adaptation? Because it may sound like I'm trying to say that this should have been a one-to-one recreation of the original show, when that is not the case. You can and should be able to change things. Why even bother spending all this money to make something that looks worse if it's going to be exactly the same?
That's so cool.
Those changes need to enhance the story. They can't be at odds with the spirit of the show or fundamentally change a character. So that brings me to episode 2. In the months leading up to this show's release, I kept seeing aggregated quotes about it from cast members, from the creators, and every time I did, it made me a little bit less optimistic about what we were going to get. One of those quotes was how the creators of the show very nobly got rid of the sexism that Sokka had a little bit of at the beginning of the cartoon. Because that was 2005, and we're a lot smarter now. Obviously, I don't need to tell you that there are tons of movies and TV shows from 20 years ago that absolutely have not aged well. But I think you're missing the point if you try to lump this show in with those. Sokka Sokka is an overconfident but misguided teenage boy who grew up isolated from the rest of the world, where he has been tasked with being the sole leader and protector of his entire village. As a result, he begins the show with a pretty dated sense of what men and women should be expected to do. He's constantly making belittling remarks to his sister. He meets the warriors on Kyoshi Island and is relieved to see that they're just girls. Here's the thing, though. The show is not glorifying his behavior. In fact, they're very much doing the opposite. Because you know what happens right after he says these things? He is immediately proven wrong. He underestimates Suki and the rest of the Kyoshi warriors, and they kick his ass. He's so embarrassed.
Oh, that looks so cool.
Comes back with his tail between his legs and apologizes and begs to learn from them. It is meant to be a humiliating and humbling experience for him, one that also props up the women around him. It's vindicating for Katara, who's had to deal with this bullshit her whole life, and it establishes Suki as a badass. It's not unchecked. It's not something that the showrunners are celebrating. His misogyny is immediately met with repercussions. Are we really at a point
I need
where
water.
we can't even show a character on TV doing something morally disagreeable? Can audiences truly not understand the difference between a real-life human being expressing a shitty belief and that belief being portrayed in a piece of fiction? And look, I'm not here to die on the hill that you gotta keep the misogyny in the show, man. It was so funny. Like, there's other ways for the writers to show Sokka having a flaw that Suki can use to get a leg up on him. So what do they do instead? She walks in on him taking a bath and just fucking stands there staring at him with googly eyes. And then in their training scene together, they have to stop every 10 seconds because of all the sexual tension.
Avoid it. We've avoided a lot of things by living the way we do.
Jesus Christ. Do you see the point that I'm trying to make here? Instead of Suki being this cool and confident intellectual superior to Sokka, who always has the upper hand on him and is always able to shut him down whenever he tries to pull some shit, they decided to just make her so horny she can't function. I gotta say, it's a little ironic that in an attempt to remove sexism from the show, they actually took a more sexist approach to designing her character. They stripped away everything that made her who she was, made her absolutely obsess over Sokka, who doesn't do anything to earn it, and then they have the nerve to act morally superior to the original writers. Also, does anyone in this village respect privacy? Shaking my damn head. On the topic of absolutely destroying strong female characters, let's talk about Katara. Her entire arc in the show is just, man, I'm not so good at bending. And then Aang is like, yeah, you are. And she's like, huh, you're right. I'm actually the best. She is not given any personality whatsoever. Her entire existence is tied to her waterbending ability, which is not what made her such a great character in the cartoon. Instead of showing how fiery and passionate Katara can be, and how her optimism sometimes backfires because the world they're living in is so beaten down, and how she can be a great leader and friend to everyone around her, not just because she's strong, but because she's empathetic and brings out the best in people. They just made her real good at fighting, and that's it.
You are a waterbender. That is who you have always been, and always will be.
And she doesn't even need any help, because she's so talented. Always has been, in fact.
I wasn't even really trying.
It's just not an interesting choice when compared to how
I was never even trying. Haha, that's why I was so bad at it.
Katara gets jealous of Aang because he's the
Y'all,
Avatar
Chad, I'm
and
gonna start trying to be a better
everything's
streamer.
silly to him. But what this show
I'm gonna try and start being better at streaming because, you know, that's the real issue, is that I'm just not trying.
and has to work twice as hard as Aang. So when we get to the end of the season and she does surpass him,
Ooh, flower pot.
no, it's because she worked really hard to get there. And that is more admirable than her just being handed this power. I mean, literally handed. Gran just gives her this scroll that in the original show, she went to great lengths to steal. For Katara, her main motivation in season 1 is to get to the Northern Water Tribe so she can find someone to teach her waterbending, something she's always wanted but has never had access to because she's always been the only waterbender in her tribe. And then they finally get to the North Pole, and I guess she doesn't actually need that, because instead of asking Paku to train them, she begs him to let her fight. First of all, why are you asking permission? He's not gonna stop you. Just go do it. What, is he gonna follow you around and tie your hands behind your back because you're trying to fight the fire? Just go fucking do it. But the point they're trying to make is that she's so powerful, she doesn't even need someone to teach her. Okay. Well, then why didn't she just go defeat the Fire Lord herself? She has this line at one point where she's like, "We need you, Aang. I need you." No, you don't. You don't seem to really need anyone. The fact that everything comes so easily to her makes it so there's no payoff at the end. It makes this line...
You found a master, haven't you?
You're looking at her.
Kinda dumb, actually. All you did was read one scroll that your grandma gave you, and now you're a waterbending master? What a journey, huh? This story will be told for generations. They gave her zero
Very
depth in
true.
this show, and it's really frustrating. You may notice while watching this show that Netflix seems to have a fear of giving any of the main characters an unlikable trait. God forbid any of these children ever make a mistake or have a redemption arc. They need to start the show already perfect. That is such a boring way to write your characters. It's also a huge disservice to your actors by giving them nothing to work with. One of the foremost characteristics of Aang early on in the show is that he's still just a kid. He's a 12-year-old boy who has been given this overwhelming responsibility of saving the world. It's something that understandably scares the shit out of him, so much so that he runs away. That's how he ends up in the iceberg for 100 years. It's the inciting incident of the entire show. That guilt follows him, and it's a really important part of his growth. But Netflix seemed to be so concerned with having their main character make an incorrect decision that they changed the reason for him flying out into the middle of a storm to him just going for a stroll.
You're right. Just needs to go up where things always make more sense.
I gotta go up where things make more sense. The ground ain't so good for thinking. Don't worry, guys, it was just an accident. He wasn't avoiding responsibility because he's a child who wasn't ready for it yet. He was just getting some fresh air.
Okay, so we can put agriculture stuff in there now. Probably gonna be a lot easier to like locate all of it here.
Is that he's not always focused on the task at hand. That's something he has to grow into. This is his very first line in the original show.
And let's put
He's constantly getting distracted and wanting to go on side quests because he's a little boy. Of course, it's not like that the whole show, but it gives him a starting point. So by the end,
we level low. Do we have food here? We don't. Okay, time to head back.
Don't got a whimsical bone in his body. He is extremely serious and solely focused on getting from point A to point B. He's not written like a child. He's already the season 3 version of Aang. Netflix, if you want your characters to be able to grow, they need to have a place to grow from. Yeah,
That's the thing. Like, I don't know. I've noticed a lot of people have issues doing that, especially like that's giving me a lot of like main the main character. I guess like the my best example for this is like D&D. Like people will make D&D characters and will have an extremely difficult time making their characters have flaws because it's just difficult to have a character not be like extremely good at things. Like people struggle with that sincerely. To like make their characters have flaws, because if they have flaws, then like there's stuff they won't be good at, and people want to be good at stuff, and so like they'll have to have conflict with themselves about that. We have reached rain level now apparently, which is fucking sick. We are climbing at Mach 10 for this, honestly. But it's like it's in a very interesting thing to like have to grapple with as a player. Is it's difficult to not be good at things, and that's what makes playing characters and like D&D so rewarding, is that you do get better at things and you grow as a player and as a character. And so like you have to be willing to make your character not so great at certain things, because otherwise your character is going to be a bore to play at all times. Like you're just not going to end up enjoying yourself at all. So you have to be careful, because if you're not careful, then you're going to end up just hating playing your character. You're gonna end up hating playing your character. So that's a very interesting point that I think this person's making, is like, in order to have character development, in order for your character, because then you're gonna spend the whole time that you're watching this show, or that your character is in a show, or that you're playing D&D or anything. You're gonna spend the whole time perfect at everything. You're never gonna struggle. At least you're not going to think you're gonna struggle. Hey, it's raining. That's what we like to see. All right. Take all those. Go in here, take that. Then we'll do that. Okay. We're like almost there. Uh-oh. Yeah, we need to start moving quick, because we're gonna start filling this bowl. And we need to get out of this bowl before it's too late, because we're literally located at the bottom of it. You could already see the water starting to pool up a tiny bit. And so we need to get out of there. I wanted to make a grass spreader too. I think that would be sick. Can I make a door right here? That would be really cool, actually. I will have to look. Okay, silicon. I'll just do it like this. Aluminum. Iron. And titanium. And then this is our, like, misc for now. Wow. I'm already... This game is so fun. This game is so freaking fun to me. Oh, anyways. I'm such a little nerd for this game.
It also makes it so his whole interaction with Boomy makes no sense. Boomy's like, there's no time for fun, Aang. You've got to go save the world. It's like, yeah, he knows that. He's already very good at not having any fun. This is one of the worst written arcs in the entire show, because everything they say contradicts what they're doing. Boomy tells him to quit playing games and go do your job as the Avatar. Meanwhile, he's the one holding him hostage, giving him games to play. Aang wants to leave the entire time. Just let him go and he'll do the things you're asking him to. Aang's immaturity also lends really well to the narrative shift that happens in the first season, because for a long time he's like, yeah, I gotta save the world eventually, but first let's go here and fuck around here for a little bit. And then we get to episode 8 and the former Avatar is like, no dude, you actually have to defeat the Fire Lord by the end of the summer, because this comet is gonna come, and if you don't do it before that, he's gonna be invincible.
Mastering the elements takes years of discipline and practice. But if the world is to survive, you must do it by summer's end.
It's this great shift in momentum that adds even more stakes to the equation. It puts a timer on everything. They kind of do that in this one. They give him a vision of the North Pole being attacked, but that doesn't do anything to address the overarching goal of having to learn and master all 3 of the elements. Something that,
there we go.
Small note here. He doesn't do any of the entire season. They set that up as one of the main goals in the original first season, and we see a bunch of examples of Aang learning waterbending and before having it pay off in the finale. Aang doesn't waterbend once in this version. He's so behind, it's actually stressing me out.
It would have been wise to have focused on your training during your journey.
I swear to God, if they start season 2 and Aang is already very good at waterbending, implying that there was a bunch of progress that happened off screen, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Off-screen progress. We love to see it. That's like, oh yeah, chat, we had a couple of day break, but I did some off-camera mining. I did some off-camera grinding. You know, that's what it was. It's just some off-camera grinding.
Airbenders getting set on fire. You might want to take a step back and reconsider your priorities. It starts to become a little obvious why the creators of the original show left this project almost 4 years ago over creative differences. According to them, they were promised that they would be given the job of guiding the show in the right direction, and they were lied to. Dude, I'm so tired of these dumbass executives who make $2 million every second getting involved in things that they have no knowledge in. Why even hire the original creators of the show if you're just gonna ignore their input?
If you're just gonna ignore them. True.
Their story better than they do. Why
So true.
the concern over making characters unlikable?
Actually, that's the thing, Chad, is that the executives know what they're doing. They always know what they're doing. They're saving the show. If they don't do it in their own image, if they don't force these little changes to happen, then the whole show's gonna fail. It's just gonna fail, chat. What'll happen then? If we don't stray away from the original writer's intent, then like it's gonna fail. Can't you see? They're just saving the show. They're saving it. Jesus friggin' Christ. Give me all that. Oh goodness, we gotta go quick. We're gonna start filling up lakes here in a minute. We could probably make rain collectors now, yeah? My dog is barking right now. I don't know what he's barking at. We have filled an entire thing with an entire large locker with iron. That's a good feeling. I know I still have a bunch of stuff to like rebuild, but like it's still nice to have that much resources. We're gonna need some more lockers. So.
When that was never a problem to begin with. Everybody loved Katara and Sokka and Aang, even with their imperfections. Imperfections are what make characters relatable. And it's like this was all supposed to be the problem with network TV. Streaming was supposed to be the solution to this.
Yeah.
We're not going to micromanage and enforce a bunch of arbitrary rules. We're just going to trust the showrunners to do the job that we hired them to do. Yet somehow over the course of the past decade, we just kind of reinvented cable. So. Good job, everyone. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to learn that most of the issues with this version of Avatar are the result of meddling from people who should have just stayed the hell away, because there is potential here. Underneath all of the baffling decisions are the bones of what could have and could still be a much better series. For starters, I think they did a fantastic job with the casting. I imagine it's way harder to cast for live action than animated, because not only do they have to have the perfect voice, but they also need to look the part and be the right age, and in this case, be able to do martial arts. The fact that they're able to check so many boxes with these kids is impressive. I just hope that going forward, they get better material to work with. The only character they consistently write well for is Zuko. This guy's got it. He totally nails the intimidating on the outside, but a little sensitive on the inside. And between him, Iroh, Zhao, Lieutenant Chi, I think almost all of the Fire Nation scenes were more cohesive and well-written.
I have to pause really quick. I have to go check something. All right. All right.
That the rest of the cast was forced to do. Going back to my point that you can and should be able to make changes in an adaptation if they make sense, I thought a couple of the additions they made to Zuko's character worked perfectly. One, there's the reveal that the crew Zuko protected from being sacrificed in the meeting that led to his banishment is actually the same crew that he's been commanding for the past 3 years since then, so I thought that was a really cool way of tying everything together. It makes so much sense that I was actually surprised when I went back and rewatched season 1 of the animated series and realized they didn't do that originally. I also like the scenes they added with him and Iroh, like the flashback to Iroh's son's funeral where we see Zuko give him his condolences as well as a gift to remember his son by. They have another moment like that at the end of this episode where Zuko is about to set off on his never-ending quest to find the Avatar, and Iroh's like, hey, mind if I come along? And Zuko's pretty resistant to the idea, but then Iroh says this.
Everything I need is on this boat.
It's a very sweet moment,
Aww.
especially with the little nod they do to Leaves from the Vine, a famously sad episode from season 2. But I do think it's worth
We're gonna
pointing
leave this
out that
here.
This only works for the people who have already seen the entire animated series. This only has the emotional weight that it does if you're going into this show with 30 hours of content. Keep in mind, this is episode 4 of the live action. If this is your first exposure to these characters, this moment is not going to have nearly the same significance to you. It's nice, but it feels a little premature. Netflix Avatar has an instant gratification problem where they don't want to set anything up that can be paid off later. They just want that payoff now. And I get that some of that was probably due to the uncertainty over whether they would even get a season 2 and 3. So they were trying to be as impactful as they can with this first season, but it's only going to make their job harder in the future. Like, where do you even go with some of these characters? There was one big change with Zuko that feels
curious about
emblematic of the
something.
entire philosophy they approach this show with. There's an episode in season 1 of the cartoon called The Storm, where we see these juxtaposed flashbacks of Aang and Zuko's past, and we learn about the moments that sent them on the trajectories they're now on. For Aang, it's running away from home, and for Zuko, it's getting banished from home. He speaks out of turn in a war meeting and disrespects everyone in the room by saying they should come up with a better plan. Ozai does not appreciate this, and he tells Zuko that he's going to have to do an Agni Kai, aka a firebending duel. But when Zuko shows up, he is shocked to find out that it's not the general he's supposed to fight, it's his own dad. Zuko begs not to have to fight him. In fact, he outright refuses, but this only makes Ozai more angry. Zuko has now disrespected him twice, so he burns his face and tells him he cannot come back home until he finds the Avatar. The Netflix version plays out pretty similarly, but with one major difference. This time, Zuko fights back. Because why would we keep one of the most important moments of the show when we'd be missing out on an awesome fight scene? Look at all the fire! Zuko refusing to fight his dad was the best way to show us who he is. How, unlike his father, he's not willing to hurt the people he loves. Netflix kind of respected that idea. I mean, Zuko does refuse to fight for a few seconds, and he does eventually get burned by his uncaring father. The problem is you can't justify Zuko getting banished forever because he lost a fight to the world's most powerful firebender. That wouldn't make any sense. So they had to add in another wrinkle to make sense of their first wrinkle, which is that Zuko actually could have won, he just chose not to. And that's where this scene completely loses me. Ozai is supposed to be the ultimate threat, the world's most feared villain, looming over every second of Aang's journey. And you're telling me some random 13-year-old kid could beat him in a fight? What are we doing here? I also just think it's better for Zuko's arc if he doesn't stand up to his dad yet, because then it will mean way more when he eventually does. What this decision showed to me is that the creators of knockoff Avatar will always choose flash over substance. If we have to fundamentally change 2 important characters so we can get 1 extra minute of pyrotechnics, you bet we're gonna be doing that. Because this is a show for grown-ups. Tell me again why the show made for grown-ups, Netflix's Game of Thrones, had to dumb down its writing. Every line of dialogue is so on the nose.
This was my home. And now it's gone.
They always choose the simplest way to convey a point.
The one thing I do know is I'm the Avatar. And this is just the beginning.
Oh, I get it. Because he's the Avatar, and this is the end of episode 1. Compare these 2 lines that serve the same function, and tell me which of these shows is made for babies.
You will learn respect, and suffering will be your teacher.
Damn.
Compassion.
Such a hard line too.
Compassion is a sign of weakness.
Compassion. It was weakness.
The script feels like a first draft filled with a bunch of placeholders that just ended up holding that place forever. I think the moment that made me realize, oh, they truly don't give a shit about what they're doing here, is when they reused the same twist 3 times. So just like in the original, Zuko objects to the Fire Nation's plan to attack one place as a diversion so they can actually attack somewhere else. But then in the first episode, they added in this thing where the Fire Nation tricks the Earth Kingdom into thinking they're going to attack one place as a diversion so they could actually attack somewhere else. And then in the finale, it's revealed that the whole fight that just took place was, get this, a diversion so they could actually attack somewhere else. How is the rest of the world not catching on by now? They only have one strategy.
The entire world will turn their attention to the Earthbenders.
A masterful ruse, Your Highness.
With the enemy's firepower focused on that diversion, we can launch pinning attacks here.
A masterful ruse, Your Highness.
Why attack the North at all?
Distraction. The North was never the true target. A masterful ruse, Your Highness.
Not only is that such lazy writing, but the last one doesn't even make sense. They attacked the Northern Water Tribe to distract them from Omashu, but both of those sieges happened over the course of one day. Even if they somehow knew
That's
it was
actually
happening
kind of funny,
because they
though,
got, like, an
that they
email
did
about
that.
it, they still couldn't have gotten there in time to help. And it's not like the Earth Kingdom was distracted from Omashu because they were busy helping the Waterbenders. They weren't there. These two things have nothing to do with each other. This wasn't a diversion. You just did 2 attacks
are you
at
waiting
the
for
same
food?
time, and one of them worked and one of them didn't. Also, did they not say in episode 4 that they knew Omashu was going to be attacked?
Fire Nation forces are on the move. They'll be here by dawn.
Why write in that they knew it was going to happen if you're going to make them so unprepared for it?
You're under attack?
We will be, but we will be ready.
Is anyone in the writing room keeping track of things that they've said? I know some people are gonna watch this video and accuse me of just being a hater, but like, I didn't want to not like this show. Believe it or not, it's way more fun for me to like stuff than it is to not like stuff. I will root for success for this show and everyone involved. I got genuinely emotional watching the cast react to the news that they got picked up for 2 more seasons, and I didn't even like the first one. I'm just happy for them that they get to keep working on this. I think there's a lot of room to grow, and I'm happy that they're being given
2
the
more
opportunity
seasons
to try and do that. I hope that the Netflix corporate overlords who pushed for all the changes that people are complaining about can listen to the criticism and realize that they're only making things worse by intervening. I don't think they're going to do that, but I will choose to be blindly optimistic until proven otherwise. At the end of the day, I would rather this show exist than not at all. It didn't cost me $100 million to make. All I had to do was watch it. Avatar is one of my favorite shows of all time, and even if the best thing about this adaptation is that it's convinced people to go back and discover the original series for the first time, I'll take it. And if you are one of those people, welcome. Sorry I spoiled the first 20 episodes, but a lot more stuff happens after that. Season 2 is where everything goes up another level. They haven't even introduced Toph yet. They replace Admiral Zhao with Azula, and that's a huge upgrade. It gets so fucking good, man. If you haven't seen it yet, just go watch it. What are you waiting for this video to end? It already did.
True. That's actually such a good way to end that video. Okay.
Exciting news, everyone. I put my cat on a shirt.
She has no idea she's on a shirt.
Get yours today.
Okay. So because I'm really enjoying the Minecraft stuff. This one looks okay. I haven't seen this one yet.
this shit. The Woodland Mansion is just a small part of the wider problem with Minecraft's exploration system. From structures to biomes to those stupid-ass desert wells that do absolutely nothing, there are so many great locations in this game that have just been forgotten about. I remember when I would love to go out and explore, but nowadays it just doesn't feel the same. Then again, since that point, we've survived a worldwide plague, housing prices have more than doubled, and we've all aged 10 years, but come on, why do things feel so different? The point is, exploration can be so much more than it is now. Even though there's
now we have a
ton of
watchtower.
problems holding it back, and even though the housing market is about to crash, we can make it live up to its full potential as a core part of the game. This is Minecraft's exploration problem, and how to solve it.
Risk versus reward. There we go.
Say you're on an expedition.
Took him a second, but he got it.
Climbing harrowing terrain and fighting dangerous mobs, all to reach your final destination. The Ancient City. It's the most dangerous area in the entire
Very
game,
cool,
covered
Prince.
in darkness and
Yep.
crawling with skulls.
He's doing it again.
Ready to alert your
There he
presence to
fucking goes.
Minecraft's deadliest enemy, the Warden. You tread carefully, making sure to stay quiet, when suddenly a skeleton shoots you from
a-hole.
behind. The skulk sensors activate, and the Warden erupts out of the ground, ready to destroy you in one fatal blow. You run as fast as you can, looking for anything you can grab before you're forced to escape. And right before the Warden catches you, you spot one singular chest. With everything at stake, you race towards the chest, open it, and... You gotta be kidding me, bro. Ancient cities were added in the Wild Update, also known as Caves and Cliffs Part 3, and despite being added 2 years late, they have a lot of things going for it. They're interesting, exciting, and most importantly, dangerous. In an age where Minecraft continues to get easier, ancient cities offer a challenge that you can't find anywhere else. They also have the worst loot in the entire game. To illustrate my point, I'm going to read out every single item that can be found in an ancient city. Here we go. Coal, bone, soul torch, potion of regeneration, amethyst, skulk, that one stupid-ass music disc that sounds like a broken washing machine. Glowberries, book, bottle of enchanting, skulk sensor, iron leggings, skulk catalyst, compass, lead, damaged enchanted diamond hoe. Jesus Christ, this sucks. More music discs, name tag, saddle, diamond horse armor, diamond leggings. This would be fine if it wasn't the only type of armor that spawns here. There's literally nothing else, just pants. Ward armor trim, silence armor trim, and finally, enchanted golden apples, which would be useful if the Warden didn't already one-shot you in full netherite armor. But you're probably asking yourself right now, Jet, how could you have forgotten to talk about the
that
recovery
looks
compass?
so
It's the most
cool.
useful item the ancient city has to offer, allowing you to easily locate your items when you die. The recovery compass sucks ass. Like that guy said, it points to your last death location, which is admittedly a very useful feature. The only problem is it's kept in the ancient city, which we've already established as the most dangerous location in the entire game. If you're able to get it, you're most likely a pretty skilled player, meaning you're not gonna die too often, but the players who do die often aren't experienced enough to traverse through the ancient city, which is where the problem is. Those who can get to the compass don't need it since they're already skilled enough to obtain it, and those who aren't skilled enough to obtain it are the ones who actually need it, but they can't get to it because they're not skilled enough. But if they get skilled enough, they don't need the compass anymore because they're not gonna die. So what's the point of going there at all? Dude, it's a Minecraft item. Who cares? I care.
Yeah, we need this
They really
first.
gotta take these guns away from me. Ancient cities are a perfect example of our first exploration issue, risk versus reward. For any structure to feel balanced, there needs to be an equal level of each. Too much risk and too little reward, and you'll end up with the ancient city. Incredibly difficult to navigate, but with
Silence trims are the only thing cities have that are worth it. Yes, that's very true. Like, that's one of my biggest issues is that, like, I don't know, there's literally no reason for you to really go to and like those cities because they're just like, I don't know, they're kind of worthless. There's really nothing there worth your time, and that's kind of sad because I think that those cities are awesome. That alone just powered everything. That's ridiculous. We need the iron. And they also have a minuscule spawn chance? Yes. And that's what's so annoying about them is that, like, there's so much risk in going there and so little reward that you're just like, why the fuck would I go there? Why would that be worth my time? Back when we had a Minecraft server, I searched 6 cities and found none. That's ridiculous, too. Like, you spent all that time going to all of those end cities just for you to not be able to like actually get the reward you wanted. Like, and they're sitting here, they're like, why don't people like our new updates? Why don't they like them? Because you go there and there's like, here's the thing. I think the interesting thing that would be that it would be interesting is if, it wasn't that the warden was spawned after 3 attempts. I think if you're on a certain difficulty, wardens should just be there. And what the skulk sensor should do, it should be like an alerting AI. So basically what it will do in that scenario is going to be that, okay, we are back to not having power. Fantastic. But if you were in the scenario that, like that, where your choices are like to put it in perspective, think about it like this. You are in a Minecraft world. And when you're when you go to those cities, right? Improve the loot. That's the first thing. Improve the loot. But like, you can spawn a warden so that you know the threat is already there and could be somewhere around a corner, but you're not sure. You're not sure. And that's what's scary about it, is that it could just be there. You could just be completely unknown, unbeknownst to you, there could be a warden lurking around any corner. And that's... Wait. Am I supposed to be able to do that? Anyways. But improve the loot tables, right? That's step 1. Step 2. Warden's already spawned in. Skulk sensors? Oh, shoot. You know what? We'll just use that. We'll get some more food when I get back. But you put all those into perspective. Skulk sensors act as a notifying thing. So, like, it will just notify the warden and will tell its AI to go to that area. So that you're not necessarily being seen, but you're alerting the warden that you're in that area. So if you can stay moving, the warden won't necessarily ever catch up to you. Right? Like, I feel like that's a good compromise. I don't know. Am I crazy there? Am I crazy here? Yeah. So it's just kind of crazy to see watch that happen, because it's just like, I don't know. They basically punish players for exploration to a certain extent, and it's just not fun. It's not fun.
No reward for those who do. Too little risk and too much reward, and you'll end up with something like end cities. They're home to some of the most powerful items in the game, but only guarded by a bunch of purple cubes. Look at them. They're not going to do anything. I'm going to save that issue for a different and related video, but as far as the ancient cities go, I think there's a few things we can do to drastically improve them. When creating any structure, you want to ask 3 questions. 1, what challenge should it give the player? 2, what stage of the game should it inhabit? And 3, what reward does it offer? The ancient city already has the challenge part down. I don't think we need to make it any harder. But the second question is still up for debate. What stage of the game should it inhabit? When should the average player visit an ancient city? Well, since the warden is probably the most dangerous mob in the entire game, I would argue you should visit it during the late game, probably sometime after you've defeated the Ender Dragon. So to make sure it's locked to that stage of the game, we're going to introduce the Abyss Explorer map. It gives you the exact location of one of these ancient cities, and just like the other Explorer maps, can be purchased from a cartographer village. But here's the twist. He'll only be able to give you that trade after
Hey, what's going on, Bree? Welcome in. We're playing some fun games and watching some Minecraft related content, because we are... Hey, Belle. Welcome in. This is our first time on one of my streams, I think. So welcome in. I'm so happy to see you. Hope you all are having a wonderful day so far. We got a bunch of friends joining now. This is so exciting. I'm so happy to see people. Just people that I know or people that I've talked to. Just, it's so fun having friends. Yes, I'm gobbling some burrito. Oh, burrito sounds so good. Oh, burrito sounds so fucking good right now. The bell smell. Jesus, y'all relax. My gosh. Oh my gosh. Twitch streamer, everybody, it's a... That's so fucking funny to me. I love that bit. I hope your burrito is delicious. We like bits here. Yes, good bit. I'll give that like a +1. Anyways, we're playing this silly goofy little Mars game. I'm colonizing Mars. I am performing Elon Musk's wet dream right now. That was a weird way to reference that, but you probably, oh, you know what? I needed to empty my inventory before I came. You know what? We'll just grab a few things. But yeah, we're playing, this is called Planet Crafter. My friend got me on this shiz. I'm going to the store. Do you need anything? Energy drink. Energy drink. I drank mine already. Mine's gone. So if you just want to give me one of those, Coke Zero. 2 cookies. We have a lot of Coke enjoyers. Cool American Doritos. Oh, has anyone tried the pickle Doritos? Those go so hard. Those go so hard. Like unnecessarily hard. The pickle Doritos, y'all, hear me out. Hear me out. If you haven't tried it before, just give it a try. Just hear me out. Give it a try. And if you hate it, you can come back and tell me you hate it. But if you like pickles, if you like eating pickles, they're so good. They're the type of like it's almost like sour that like makes the roof of your mouth hurt a little bit. I think we're actually creating more pressure than we were before with those 3. Okay. But yeah, this game's fun. It's a fun little thing. I'm in reality, I'm biding my time until it's time to play Minecraft. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm like playing this game and I'm thinking about like the different machine. I'm watching a Minecraft video while I'm doing this. So I'm actually thinking of, that's all I'm thinking about is Minecraft. I'm playing this game kind of mindlessly. I'm moving my base over to here from down here. So, because this place is like gonna fill up with water relatively soon. And so I have to make sure I'm not in this bowl. But I'm spending the whole time just thinking about playing Minecraft. Playing Minecraft. Oh goodness. But yeah, it's a time. It's a time. We're having fun.
This ensures that players can only find an ancient city after they beat the dragon, making its place in Minecraft's progression a lot more straightforward. But then again, there's always the chance that someone just stumbles upon one by accident.
I'm gonna leave this.
So to solve that problem, I came up with a genius idea. We made them a little bit rarer. I could come up with a better solution, but I've been making this video for 6 months and I just want to be done with it, man.
Okay, mine is... You get... Okay, here's my solution. You get a permanent effect. A permanent effect from defeating the Ender Dragon. That, like, stops the warden from hearing you right away. And in all other scenarios, if you go to the if you go to an end city, if you find one, the warden will constantly know where you're at. So it's not impossible to go into an end city and do things, but it is extremely difficult. Right? So that like really, really, really good players have the reward of being able to access those early, but at the same time, it keeps like newer players, like you are like, it's a kind of like, think about it like this. The dungeon in Terraria. The dungeon in Terraria is guarded by that skeleton head that kills you instantly. Create like a warden or like that, like maybe the warden just has a much further like radius to shoot. I don't know. What the was that a firefly? What is that? Are those fucking fireflies? Oh. Or maybe they're just little particles that might... Oh. Oh, we got everything. Oh, okay. Don't worry about it. Thank you. No, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what those are. That's a little scary.
So
The
that's the second one
Dwyer
down, but
particle?
there's still one more
The Dwyer
question we
particle.
need to answer.
I don't know what that means, but-
reward does it offer? Why should I go through all this trouble to find an ancient city? What greater purpose do they serve? Well, let's ask ourselves. What are like
Okay, what stuff do we really quick? I just need to think about this really quick. What stuff do I need to remake? Oh, my heaters. I need my heaters back. We can technically make another nuclear reactor if we wanted. We have the materials. Do we just want to throw our like power gen through the roof? We're not really where we were. This makes 85 a second. How much does this make? Oh, that's so worth it. That's so worth it. Okay. So for this we need cobalt, iron, magnesium, silicon, titanium. Okay. Do that. All right, that should be nope, silicon. Okay, now we just need 2 water bottles. And now we're gonna like throw our power generation like into the stratosphere for no reason other than we can. Cool. All right, we have a crap ton of energy now. 270. We're only using about 100. We can make hydration level low. Oh. We'll do that. What do we need to make the heaters? We need aluminum, iridium rods, titanium, and silicon. Okay, so we're gonna make 2 of them, I think, or 3 of them. We can only make 2. Okay. Because we don't have enough iridium for 3. So we're going to have to only make 2, but that's fine. That's not... and then... silicon? It's over here. Okay. And let's go ahead and put these at the top of the tower. We might as well. Might as well use this up here for something. Do we want to? Do we just want to, like, decorate this, like... make this kind of like a cool little living area? I think that'd be kind of cool. So let's put these somewhere else. Okay, that's nice. How are we looking on? Okay, so we have those tier 3 heaters. Okay, we can start this.
Players always in need of. That's right. A girlfriend. Experience points. Think about it. The first thing we all do after beating the Ender Dragon is build a hyper-efficient Enderman farm to enchant all our items. An obviously intentional mechanic carefully implemented by the Mojang developers. So to aid us in this noble grind of obtaining unnecessarily powerful armor, we're going to introduce a form of XP storage. Meet the Skulk File. It's crafted with 7 Echo Shards and can hold up to 1,395 experience points, which equates to exactly 30 levels. By shift right clicking, you can instantly store any amount of XP you want, throw it in a chest, and save it for later. But if you pick it up and drink it, that stored XP is deposited directly back inside of you. Yeah, we're gonna need a better term for that. Not only is this cool as shit, but it also makes sense for lore reasons, since Skulk blocks are already capable of storing small amounts of XP. This vial alone gives a whole new reason to visit an ancient city. It offers something that'll be useful to the player for years to come, and at least in my opinion, is a fair reward for the risk of going there. While we're here, I'm going to tweak just a couple other things about the ancient city. Any enchanted armor can now spawn in chests, not just leggings. I get what they were trying to do with the Swift Sneak thing, where it's like, oh, Swift Sneak is put on leggings, so we only have leggings. Shut up. Okay, just put all the armor pieces there. It makes so much more sense. And we're going to remove the recovery compass from ancient cities
we need
and instead
ice.
put it in the Woodland Mansion, which we're also going to make 3 times more common. You're welcome. So there you go. We've just taken the ancient city.
Thank you for making it more common. I appreciate
entire
that.
Game to one of the most useful.
Silicon,
But unfortunately
titanium,
for
iron,
us,
aluminum.
this is just one structure in a sea of problems that we have yet to solve. But first, I have a very special announcement to make. You may have noticed in the last few clips that the items I'm talking about are, you know, actually real. I'm not just talking out of my ass anymore. And that's because I've decided to code them into my very own mod. That's right, I've shipped 10 Taiwanese sweatshop workers directly to my house to code this mod from my basement. It's
I like the what's it called? The Fall Guys music in the background. The Fall Guys music goes so funny.
On my Patreon, which
it
is
goes
only
goofy.
$8 a month. Same price as Twitter Blue, yet somehow twice as many features. It's genuinely a really high quality mod. I spent a ton of time with the sweatshop, the developers, to ensure that this is the best mod it can possibly be. So if you find any bugs while playing,
we have any more aluminum?
Don't tell me, because I'm not going to fix it. Also, if you don't have any money, I guess that's okay too. We're doing a raffle on my Discord next week for a few people to get the mod for free. With that out of the way, let's get back to fixing Minecraft's exploration. All right, you're free. Get out of here.
Jesus Christ. That scared the crap out of me.
Time to go take some oil from a Middle Eastern country. Minecraft has an incredibly diverse world. It's full of lush greenery, unique animals, and interesting structures, like those stupid goddamn desert wells that just sit there for no reason. But most importantly, it's full of biomes. Biomes are what piece the Minecraft world together, giving it important variety and making it feel real. The only problem is, you never see them. Before making this video, I started a new survival world just to refresh myself on the single player experience. I went mining, built a house, you know, all the normal stuff you do in a Minecraft playthrough. But after a few days of playing, I realized something huge. I had stayed in this plains biome for my entire...
Okay, really quick. Manage your team really have a greater chance to build a base at an altitude. I'm not sure why yet. And if you manage to survive to heat the planet enough, some caves come instead when ice melts. One less thing you can. However, I'm a planet crafter sent from the Mega 3 planet. If you've received this, it means you are near. Maybe you're a planet crafter as well. Weather is atrocious and I'm running out of resources. There is not enough on this barren world to terraform it. I don't know why I chose this. Death would have been more pleasant than this. If anyone can send help, please do. Damn. That's intense. There's actually, I think there's food in here.
Playthrough. No joke, I literally went back and tracked how long I spent in each biome and found these results. 57% of my time was spent in the original plains biome, 38% of my time was spent underground in caves, and this tiny sliver of colors right here is every other biome in the game. In one single biome, I had built my entire base, gathered all of my materials, and set myself up to survive for almost the entire playthrough. However, there is always the chance that I could just be stupid. Jet, were you there on January 6th? Yes. What is that, by the way? So to make sure my playstyle wasn't biased in any way, I reran the trial with a few other players and got virtually the same results. They spent the majority of their time in the first biome they spawned into, only leaving it for very short time periods. Sometimes they left to gather specific materials, other times to advance through the game, but no matter what, they always came straight back to spawn. And when you look at how Minecraft is structured, it's pretty clear why. Almost everything the player needs is found underground. Need ores for armor and tools? Go underground and mine for it. Need an enchant table or lapis? Go underground and mine for it. Need obsidian to get to the nether? Go underground and mine for it. Caves are overflowing with useful items to the player, whereas the surface has pretty much just two things, food and wood, which I already get every morning, so it's not even that useful. Since most important items can be found underground, players are obviously going to spend more time there. And if every biome has the same underground, they're never going to leave the one they spawned into, opting instead to make one base at spawn and nothing else. This is one of the biggest issues holding Minecraft's exploration back. It's far too easy to get everything you need from one specific area. Trees and animals can be found almost anywhere. Every biome spawns the same amount of ores. When every biome is functionally the same, there's no reason to go out and find new ones, resulting in players staying at spawn for their entire playthrough. But don't worry, because I have an amazing idea that can fix all of this. We're going to add underground biomes.
Oh.
Fuck was that? Yeah, we already did that. Why are you at my house?
We added a few different cave variants, but it didn't work for some reason.
Yeah, because they're all completely useless. Why the hell would anyone want to go out and find a dripstone cave?
That's a good point, actually. Do you have any other ideas?
Well, you could make different amounts of each ore spawn in certain biomes, inciting players to explore if they need more of a particular resource.
That would be too much work.
Jesus, you really do suck at this. Why the
Well,
hell
we
would
need
that
to
be
make
too
sure
much work?
everyone's
Do your
happy. The
employees work
logistics
more
of
than
that would
30
just be
minutes a
too
day? You are the
complicated. Okay, we had
biggest
to work
company
for
in the
2 hours
goddamn
that day to
world.
get that
Figure it
feature
out.
done.
The Badlands biome, a barren wasteland full of nothing but terracotta and rolling tumbleweeds. Or so it seems. Beneath the surface lies a gold mine. Like, not a figurative gold mine, like an actual just mine of gold. The Badlands is one of only 2 biomes in the game that has its own unique ore distribution, generating over 3 times more gold than any other area. The second of these biomes is the mountains, which is the only place you can find emeralds in their ore form. Now, these 2 features aren't inherently very useful. You're not going to be traveling out to a Badlands biome for 5 extra gold ingots. But in concept, it's a very good way of introducing function to certain biomes. Let's say that you need a large amount of coal for a project.
And then they proceed to not use it.
Years gathering it all. Well, instead of slaving away to strip mine directly underneath your base, you could go out and find a desert biome. Deserts would now generate coal much more than other biomes, giving you a convenient place to get bulk amounts of it. This is because deserts are often sites of
we're going
ancient
there.
ocean basins, which when filled
We're
by
going there
surrounding rivers and
soon.
sediments containing organic remains offer just the right conditions for oil and gas to form. Yeah, I studied plate tectonics to find out which Minecraft biome was more likely to have coal. I hate my life. If certain biomes had higher
that's
levels
sick.
of certain
I
resources,
respect
it
the
would
shit
make
out of
players
that.
want to go out and find them, giving an incentive to explore.
I respect the
rather
fuck
than
out of
sit in
that.
one place and get
Have
all
I
your
gone there
resources
yet?
from there.
I don't
Copper
think
could
I've
be more
gone there
common in
yet.
Oceans because it forms on real life seafloors. Diamonds could be more common in jungles because rainforests often house precious gemstones, and birch forests could have more iron because they direly need it. They're about as useful as the winners of the last 3 mob votes. If you're curious, here's how I mapped it out for every other biome in the game, taking into account balancing, realism,
My dog is
and
freaking
also
out.
just what
I think
felt like
someone
fit.
else
But the
just
good
got
thing about
home.
this is we don't need to stop at ores either. Certain biomes could spawn more of one type of animal, individual crops could grow faster or slower, mob drops could be more common. There are literally infinite ways to differentiate these biomes, and if Mojang were to add more attributes like this, it would encourage exploration in all stages of the game. But luckily for us, they kind of already are. In Snapshot 23W31A, a big change was made to how librarian villagers operate. Before the update, you would cycle through each book trade until you found the one you were after, with each trade having an equal chance of appearing. However, after Mojang's changes, each trade was now locked to a certain biome. If you wanted efficiency, you would have to find a villager from a desert biome, and if you needed mending, you would have to get a swamp villager. They literally added diversity employment laws to Minecraft. Shit's crazy. On the surface, this seems like a really good change. It forces
Cobalt,
players to go
magnesium,
out and get
silicon, iron.
villagers from all sorts of biomes rather than just set up a full trading hall in the one they spawned into. But that being said, it still has a couple issues. For example, how the hell is someone supposed to know which biomes they need to go to? If a new player were to go and cycle a librarian, they're going to be pretty confused by the only 2 trades they're getting are Smite 4 and Blast Protection. Like, yeah, you can always just look it up, but if we keep adding features that need a wiki to be able to understand on a basic level, we're just going to end up like Terraria, where you have to go through 6 different web pages just to figure out how to craft the terra.
And that's like the big thing that's like the difference. I was just talking about this is the difference between Minecraft and Terraria is that like Minecraft and Terraria are uniquely different is that like you need a spreadsheet to play Terraria sometimes. You need like an actual spreadsheet to play Terraria sometimes. And that's like that's what makes it like so much better than I think that's what differentiates and makes Minecraft better in a sense. Is that you don't need to always do that. Like, I don't know. There are certain things you need to look up. Like, there are certain things you do need to look up, but it's not like look up a cake. Like one of the most useless items in the game. In reality, like cakes are cool decorations, I suppose. They're different than other things, I guess. I don't know. Like, at what point is it, you know, useful or useless? We're going to make another heater. Another tier 3. Why not? Just throw that there. It doesn't cost too much. So let's see. What are we lacking in? Our oxygen production's through the roof. Our pressure is fairly low. Let's make a couple more drills. We'll need aluminum, iron, titanium. Hopefully we have the production for this. Do you have liquid water already? Not yet. We're working on that. The heat is almost there for us to start getting. We have rain. We've gotten rain at this point. That's the peak of what we've gotten to. Yeah, we're working on the glow up right now. Yes. Okay, that'll increase our pressure a little bit. Yeah, we're working on the glow up. We're trying to finally improve. We've improved our base a little bit. I think this looks way better than where we were at before. We've given ourselves a bit more space for like pressure. We have a better setup for energy. We have 2 nuclear reactors. We're gonna make some wind turbines here in a little bit just to give us that baseline, and then we have a water collector for the rain. We are now looking a lot better in pressure. Now we're lacking in heat again. We used almost all of our aluminum for that, by the way. So that's cool. And we don't have the iridium to make... Okay. So what are we waiting on now? Tier 2 nuclear reactor? We're not going to be there for a minute. Tier 4 heater is coming up. We could do a grass spreader. A grass spreader would be nice. Yeah, we have the stuff for that, I think. We just need some more water. Let's do this. That's literally going to do so much more for us. Like, oh my gosh, our oxygen production is kind of crazy. Our oxygen production is kind of crazy. Oh, our biomass is going up. We have a new thing now, biomass. We're at 4 grams. Oh, okay. 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 We are looking way better now. I think that we are about ready for a little bit of exploration. I think that we've built our way up to that. We've now earned some exploration time. So let's go ahead and put the titanium back. Put the iron back. Manganesium. Cobalt. Super alloy. Let's get some... I don't know. Does this have any water in it for us? It does. Okay. Okay, that's sick. I kind of want to get one of those like mining rigs, because that would be nice. That would be really useful. But let's get a living compartment. So we need 3 iron, 2 titanium, and a silicon. Because we're going to need to make a home away from home for that one. I think we can get there on what we currently have. Oh, my nose itches. I think we can get there on what we currently, like our current oxygen. But I want to see what's up in that watchtower. And when we get back, we should actually have a nice little patch of grass there. Why? There we go. Fix how that sits on my head. Ooh. Ooh, why is this area so different? Why are there so many crash landed like ships here? They just like shooting ships into the atmosphere and like destroying them? Like, I feel like that's kind of what's happening here. That's got to be. Ooh, this place is huge. This place is going to have so much. This place is going to have so much crap for us to pick up. I'm hyped. Yeah, there's like little pieces everywhere. I'm guessing, yep, we enter right here. So let's go ahead and make a little living compartment right here. Empty out the inventory doing that. Drink that. And we'll go doing a little exploring. I really wish it hadn't just become night when I walked in here. Because there's got to be something in here that I'm going to miss. Okay, let's go left first. Oh, this place is big. Bean seeds. Oh, rocket. Oh, golden seeds. Oh, so many seeds here. I don't want to pick those all up. Let's check out what's in here. Okay. I like. Oh, beautiful. We'll take that. We have to keep in mind that there's a ton of iridium in here. We're about halfway through our oxygen. Let's go back and just take a quick peek at the other side. What's kind of nice is that so something I'm considering is probably like the truth about this place is are these both Lerma Nona? Lerma Shanga. Not necessarily that much better. Yeah, my thought is that oh, a second rocket. We are running low on oxygen. More Lerma seeds. More beans. Oh. Sulfur? I want those. I want those. I want that. And we'll eat that and we'll take that. All right. That was fun. So I think we need to create like probably new rods. Like rods to put in there to power the spaceship so it'll open some more of these doors. Like I feel like there's got to be something behind there. Like some of these doors got to open up at some point. Okay, we'll stop in here for some oxygen. There's still a lot here. There's so much for us to explore in there. It looks like there's some more stuff up there too. Like just up that hill. But we're gonna go back over here and we're gonna start playing this again.
Is this it? Oh, yeah,
yep.
Of course. Why wouldn't it be that? How can I have forgotten? So here's a simple solution. Don't make trades exclusive to certain biomes. Simply make them more common in them. Imagine if
that was what I meant by like
and blast
Minecraft, like
yeah,
in Terraria being different in that
keep
sense.
Any features that need a wiki to be able to understand on a basic level, we're just gonna end up like Terraria. We have to go through 6 different web pages just to figure out how to craft the Terra Blade. Is this it? Oh, Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't it be that? How can I have
Yep.
So here's a simple
Insane.
solution. Don't make traits
Insane.
exclusive to certain biomes, simply make them more common in them. Imagine if in that desert idea from earlier, I'd made it so that coal could only be found in the desert and nowhere else. If the player can't find a desert biome, or if the only one is extremely far away, it's going to be almost impossible for that player to get any coal. We've suddenly just turned a cool and engaging feature into a very annoying feature. The villager trades have this same problem. If there's no savanna near you, it's impossible to get sharpness. If you can't find a swamp, guess you're gonna have to live without mending. But by making these trades more common in certain biomes rather than exclusive, you get the best of both worlds. Newer players don't need to figure out which biomes have which books because they can still technically get all of them from one area. But if you're having trouble with one or just want the process to go faster, you can go out and find the biomes where they're easier to get. In other words, you don't need to hit the diversity quota, but it's definitely going to help you out. So there you have it. With these small changes, Minecraft's biome system has been completely reworked. Every single biome now offers something useful to the player in both early and late stages of the game. Maybe instead of building one base at spawn, the strategy would be to build multiple outposts across your world. Specific places you would travel to in order to harvest the biome's resources or use it to build more efficient farms, all connected via railways. Railways. Hey,
that's a big thing. That's such a big thing, is transportation.
Daryl.
Yeah.
When was the last time you used a railway?
I don't know, like westward expansion?
How old are you?
Oh, you mean in Minecraft? I don't know, man. It's been a while.
No, go back. Okay, were you there for the construction of the Transcontinental Railroad?
Yeah, I was one of the project managers for it, you know? Making sure the workers stayed in line.
Daryl, 1,200 migrant workers died while making that railroad. What the hell, man?
Well, you just hired 10 more from Taiwan, so who's the real villain?
I'm firing this guy. Okay, we need to stop the player from wanting to keep their stuff in one central area. It hinders exploration and generally just makes the game boring. We instead need to encourage them to spread out over multiple different locations, giving them more variety in their gameplay and inciting them to explore. We've already done most of the work.
This is so cool!
But there's one more thing stopping them from being fully effective, and that is transportation. How's the player going to get between these areas? Is it going to be on horseback? Is it going to be by minecart? Is it going to be using an 18,000 block per second TNT cannon that uses advanced logarithmic calculations to precisely accelerate an ender
you know what?
angle you choose? Maybe.
Let's go ahead and make that.
Likely, you're going to be using one of the more basic forms of transport. Things like minecarts, horses, not chest boats, the elytra, nether highways, the list goes on. A lot of these could be absolutely perfect for what we need, yet for some reason, we never use any of them. It's like my guy Daryl said, we haven't used minecarts since the Transcontinental Railroad was finished back in 1869. Rest in peace to those 1,200 migrant workers. The point is, transportation has a big problem. And to find out why, we need to go back to the wonderful year of 2010.
What do we want to focus
Minecraft
on
was still in its
next?
infancy, and players needed a fast way to get around.
What do we need to improve first?
Minecarts. By setting up rail lines in between locations, you would be
probably
able to make permanent,
heat.
reusable transportation
Heat and pressure.
Yeah, it's a little expensive, but it was the only choice you had, instantly making minecarts one of the most useful items in the entire game. So, as long as nothing challenges them for that spot, transportation should live happily ever after. 2011! Minecraft is now in beta, and Notch wanted to have a use for this new hunger mechanic he was making, so he invented sprinting. By double tapping forward, you could run over 7 meters per second, almost the exact same speed as minecart. As long as you had a stable food source, unlike many of the 1,200 migrant workers, there was literally no reason to use minecarts anymore. Okay. Maybe it's not that bad. Okay, they're still slightly faster, right? And you probably don't want to run anywhere anyway. So as long as Mojang doesn't add anything faster than minecarts, we should be okay. 2013! The horse update is released, which, as you can probably tell, adds horses, a new mode of transport that's faster
Beans
than
are
minecart.
so much better.
Horses can go anywhere, they don't use up food, can jump 4 blocks, travel 14 meters per second, a hell of a lot faster than 8, and saddles are now found in pretty much every chest in the game.
Iron and aluminum.
Okay. Horses are just infinitely better than minecarts in every single way. That's called the meta, okay? And trust me, Mojang is not gonna add anything crazier than that. 2016! Flying is now a vanilla mechanic. Cause that makes sense. At least it's hard to get, right? Jesus Christ. You can see the issue here. Every time Mojang tries to add a new form of transport, it completely invalidates everything that came before it. Horses made the minecart obsolete, the elytra made horses obsolete, and chest boats made nothing obsolete. I just irrationally hate them. Everyone has a different idea on how they want to fix this problem. Some people think we need to give minecarts a huge speed buff. Others want the elytra to be removed from the game. This guy just said the N-word. Like, it's crazy. But I think there's a way we can solve this problem without using racial slurs, and that's by introducing specialization. In 375 BC, an Athenian philosopher named Plato wrote a book called Republic,
Okay, let him cook. Let him cook.
Of division of labor. Plato explained that for a society to function efficiently, you needed different people supplying different things. A farmer to harvest crops, a builder to make houses, etc. This is the main idea of specialization. By giving each person one role, it allows them to get much better at it than they would otherwise, leading to faster advancements in technology and a more efficient society. The minecarts in Minecraft, on the other hand, are not very efficient because Minecraft's transportation system isn't specialized. Boats are able to go really fast on water and really fast on land. Horses are able to travel to existing locations, which was previously the minecart's job, and explore new ones. Every new form of transport just does the same thing as the last one, when they should all be doing different things. This was a really easy concept to explain. I did not need to go back to 375 BC. So, using the teachings of Plato, let's go ahead and specialize each form of transportation, starting with the OG and my absolute goat, the minecart. Since rail lines take so long to set up, the minecart's main job should be to transport the player between frequently visited locations. Places they're gonna go multiple times. Things like bases, automatic farms, if you live in Omaha, narcotics vendors. So, we're gonna need to make a few big tweaks.
Jesus
First,
Christ!
we need to buff the speed. Like I said earlier, sprinting is only
we're gonna get a bunch of iridium.
If we want people to use these, they need to be worth the materials they put into it. To do this, we're gonna increase their speed by about 1.5 times. This ensures they stay comfortably above sprinting at 12 meters per second while not being too overpowered at, say, twice the original speed, which, in my opinion, is a little bit much for normal rails. Secondly, we need to make them cheaper to set up. These things are wildly expensive to make. It almost explains the ultra-low wages of the 1,200 migrant workers who die building the
Oh my
transcontinental
god, he
railroad.
keeps
In
going
my
back to
experience,
it!
getting the normal rails for a minecart track was never that big of an issue, so for those, we're just gonna give a small increase to how many you get per craft. But what has been an issue for me is getting powered rails. The crafting recipe for these is extremely unforgiving. You get 6 per craft. 6! That's like the amount of times I've had sex multiplied by 6. Now, we could just increase this amount like we did for normal rails, but
Jesus
I
Christ.
have a slightly cooler idea. We're going to replace the gold in the powered rail recipe with copper. Not only does this make it a lot cheaper because
That right
let's face
there?
it, we all have way more copper than we need these days.
King
but
the
this
Queen?
also gives
That's
another
my
use to
roommate.
copper, which
Yeah,
is
that's my roommate. That's my roommate. That's my best friend.
But we're not just going to stop there.
That's one of my best friends right there. I love her so much.
It for a new, even faster type of rail. Super-powered rails. Super-powered rails would propel minecarts about 1.5 times more than normal powered rails, offering a higher tier of speed if the player is rich enough. Hey, editing jet here. I actually stole both of these ideas from a YouTube comment, but I have more subs than him, so I'm gonna get all the credit. Not only do these changes make it easier for early game players to set up minecart rails, but it also makes minecarts viable for later game players, since with the higher minecart speed as well as the super powered rails, you're gonna be moving at about 18 meters per second, which looks something like this. Holy shit. Oh my god. Going faster than O.J. Simpson's Ford Bronco. So, there we go.
Wow, this guy is just pulling them out.
Kinda. There's still something else in our way, and that is, of course, horses. As we said earlier, horses are pretty much just minecarts, but better. They're faster, easier to get, all-terrain, can jump. Minecarts can't do that. A Toyota Tundra can't do that. The problem is, if we strip horses of any of these qualities, they kind of lose their original purpose, which is to explore new areas. Horses should be the go-to transport method when planning an adventure, but they shouldn't be used to travel between existing areas. That's the minecart's job. So we have a very interesting problem here. We need to find a way to make horses good for exploring, but bad for traveling, which sucks, because those are like the same exact fucking thing. But luckily for you guys, I'm the second coming of Jesus Christ, so I know exactly how to solve this problem. What if we gave horses a stamina bar? As you ride the horse, the bar will slowly decrease until it reaches the end, at which point your steed will suddenly get a lot slower, forcing you to let it rest and recharge. This will make it slightly more annoying to use when traveling, since you wouldn't want to keep stopping to let your horse rest. But in theory, it wouldn't affect you while exploring, since you're frequently getting off your horse to collect materials or loot the structures you find, giving it enough time to rest
Silicon,
and be ready
titanium,
to ride
aluminum.
when you come back.
I don't have
Before
any
you ask,
titanium.
yes, I made sure the cooldown was just long enough for your horse to travel about 8 miles away from where you left him. So there we go. Minecarts and horses fixed. almost. We're like almost there. We're so close. There's just one last thing we need to take care of, and that is ice boat highways.
Oh,
Because
new
Jesus
things
Christ,
spawn in. I did not know
these
that.
things are horrible. By pairing a boat with a trail of solid ice, you're able to achieve ungodly speeds. Remember those minecart changes we made earlier? Well, with the superpowered rails, as well as the general speed boost, you'll be going at a max speed of about 40 miles an hour. Ice boat roads are 170. Not to mention that gathering a ton of ice is infinitely easier than gathering a ton of rails. So if you think that this is in any way fair or balanced, please unsubscribe from my YouTube channel and block me on Twitter, because I do not want you here. Now, we could just make boats slower on ice, which we are going to do, but I wanted something a little more symbolic.
I
Something
literally
that would
said,
shape
I need
every ice
titanium.
boat lover to their
There's so much
Hang on, you'd
titanium.
say you're an ice boat racer, right?
Yeah, I'm racist.
That's not what I said. Okay, just
Hey, yo.
come through the portal. I got something for you. Come over here. I set up this beautiful ice boat track just for you, Aeon.
In the nether?
In the nether. Don't worry about why it's in the nether. Just get in the boat, go on your ice boat track, have some fun. You've earned it, man.
I'm in my natural habitat.
You're in your natural habitat? That's good. Just keep going. Keep going.
Imagine you define yourself as like, imagine your entire, like, you're like, I'm a professional Minecraft ice boater. I'm so good at Minecraft ice boats.
Yo, this track sucks.
Yep. No, it's great.
What the hell? What the hell?
Ice was never supposed to exist in the nether, dumbass.
What the
Ice
hell?
was never supposed to exist. It melts.
This is so stupid.
Okay. Based. That's it. Based.
Okay, thanks. That's good. And now, minecarts are fully balanced. You see how much work that was? God damn. I'm just gonna go and make videos on my live channel. Now, the thing I've neglected to mention throughout all of this is the elytra. It's kind of like the final boss of the
Let's go ahead and make a
transportation
launch
issue because
platform.
It does
3 titanium,
absolutely
3 iron.
everything. It is so outrageously useful that it's probably more worth it to speedrun the entire game and get it first than spend any time getting other forms of transport. So, how do we fix this? Well, if we nerf
Jesus
it, everyone just throws a fit on
Christ.
Twitter. Mojang already tried that. So our only option is making it harder to obtain. For now, I'm just gonna
Ooh,
make the
low
chances of
power,
finding an
that's
end
not
chip
good.
3 times less, but we'll definitely come back to this in a later video because that is a lazy solution that I wrote in the script 15 minutes ago just so that I can be done with this video, man. So there we go. Every mode of transport has a different specific use that players can use to connect their world. We have, in my opinion, fixed transportation.
geolocation to the
Honestly,
mapping screen?
exploration as a whole. Throughout this video, we've done a lot of things, from structures to biomes to I forgot to do anything with the desert wells. We have truly improved exploration far
what?
beyond what it was before.
What kind of asteroids?
But there's something
Attracts
I've been avoiding
iridium asteroids,
Something I've been
uranium
carefully
asteroids. So we're
treading
gonna want
around
these.
over the course of this video.
3 cobalt,
And
2
it is
super alloy, and a
single-handedly
rocket
the reason
engine.
why Minecraft can never and will never be a true exploration game. The 1,200 migrant workers.
Jesus fucking Christ. That's like the 19th time this guy has brought up the migrant workers. It's about the effort. It's literally, it's because it takes more time to make rails. Multiplayer. Oh, okay.
In January of last year, Mojang released a snapshot that made a big
This guy's humor is questionable. If a little funny. However, like, I'm a little sus of him. I'm a little sus of the humor. I think there's some bits that are funny, but some I'm just kind of like, you sure about that one, buddy? Are you sure that's a good idea to be joking about? Sometimes, like, yeah, you gotta think about that a little more, maybe. Like, I don't know.
changed how netherite is acquired. They introduced a new item called the netherite upgrade template. Now, in addition to needing your previous diamond equipment,
Sus but
you
funny
would also
humor.
need
He's
an
like me for
upgrade
real.
template to
Yeah.
craft netherite. But here's
Yeah.
the kicker. It can only be found in Bastion remnants. This at first seems great. It's the first time exploring something has been mandatory for progression since the addition of the stronghold over 10 years ago. It requires the player to visit a dangerous area for a worthwhile reward, and is overall a really great concept. In single player, let's say you play on a fairly large server, one that already has all the bastions looted. How are you supposed to obtain netherite? Yeah, they're craftable, but you need one in the first place in order to make another. If no one's willing to let you borrow theirs, netherite is impossible to obtain. This is why exploration cannot be mandatory. As soon as
We
you
need a
lock pivotal
uranium
items
mod.
behind biomes or structures, it runs
Uranium
the risk
rod.
of harming the multiplayer experience. Not to mention the dozens of different playstyles that exist within it. A builder doesn't want to be forced to fight the warden. They just want to build their house and be a little pussy. So for as long as it supports multiplayer and caters to different playstyles,
We need more uranium.
Minecraft
Where do we
cannot
find
and will
uranium
not
at?
be a true exploration game. But
Yeah, I know
maybe
we're
it
at low
doesn't
power.
have
How
to.
how
If you
low
look
is the
back on
power?
every feature I've suggested in this video, not a single one is
Jesus.
necessary for the player to complete.
Okay.
You can get by
So we
just
would get
fine
back
without
online with a
snowplows.
nuclear
You don't
reactor,
need to
or
visit a desert to get coal. Exploration was never meant to be the focus of Minecraft. It's just one of the many elements that makes the game what it is. And in my opinion, we've done a pretty damn good job. at improving
We need
it.
or we
Again,
need
the mod
3
containing
solar
all of the
panels. Where are
features
we at
talked
with
about
solar
in this video
panels?
can be found on my
We need
page,
aluminum for
alongside
them
some
still.
others better.
So we're gonna have to go
take a look if you're
over.
interested, and if you're not, buy it anyway so I can afford more drugs. Jesus.
Oh goodness. Okay, that was a good video. I'm kind of thinking. I'm tinking. We have been going for a nice handful of hours. Let's go ahead and go to our creator dashboard. First of all, I need to use the restroom. But I think that I'm probably going to call stream there. Just because we've been going for a minute. And yeah, just hanging out. Been a pretty chill stream. But I'm probably going to be done there. Just because we have been going for about 3-4 hours almost. But Monday is the freaking day, gamers. It is the freaking day. It is the day for us to finally start playing on the SMP. And I'm so excited. We're going to be going basically all day. Like, we're going to be going from like 10 a.m. till like whenever. Whenever I get absolutely bored of doing anything. So, thank you to everybody who hung out today. Joining for the movie, maybe. I'll be playing Planet Crafter. Is it the Godzilla movie? But anyways, we can talk about that in a moment. B, thank you for hanging out. Autumn, thank you for hanging out. Jess, thank you for hanging out. Bree, thank you for being here. Belle, thank you for hanging out. Alesia, thank you for hanging out. And everybody else who has been here. The lurkers, the non-lurkers, everybody who is gay, they, female, or a couple of cis men, if you were here. But anyways, have a great rest of your day. All loves. I will, let's go over here. All loves. I love you. Moi, moi, moi. I'll see you later.